to D&D with Kristi. I am Kristi. It is time to do some D&D with the members of my party. Say hi, everybody in the party.
Hi, everybody in the party.
Yeah, see, I'm keeping them on their toes. I'm keeping them fresh. We're continuing on. We kind of did a little dip into an alternate time stream for New Year's Eve. We're back again in Troll Skull Alley, home of notoriously known as home of the place where Urstil Floxin was killed. But anyway, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's not my job to do the recap. So let me hand it off to Yella, who is going to summarize what... Oh my gosh, stuff happened last week.
And you nearly said murder. It wasn't murder, it was self-defense.
Yes.
Yes, Governor.
Oh, dude, we kept in our basement for a couple of hours beforehand. But yeah, so last session started after we captured Floxin on the roof. As we tried to get back into the tavern to think of a plan, Hibara decided to put a beggar on fire, which went horribly, let's just say.
It worked.
I don't really think that worked, as they say. But after that, we got him in our basement. The nimble right was sent upstairs. Then Blue used charm person on Floxin and got him to give out information. The fact that the nimble right had the Stone of Galore, that he had been working with. I can check her name.
The Growlhunts?
The Growlhunts from Growlhunt Manor for the stone, but then she double-crossed him and took the stone for herself, which of course pissed him off, which is why he attacked her, and how he came to be chasing the Nimblewright in the first place. Then Mara, Thelvar, and Abara interviewed the Nimblewright, got the stone off of him. Hibara then took the stone, told the drow about it. After that, Clue called Hibara down for some torture as he tried to...
just some casual torture. Just very,
as he tried to take care of the corpse of the other guy they murdered last time. So he just disguised himself as Floxin, made sure the cops saw him with the corpse, and then ran away. Unfortunately, past the tavern, where Mara was torturing Floxin pretty loudly, which turned out to be a problem. After escaping, turning back, they sort of make a tentative peace with Floxin for a bit as they dealt with the cops. After which, Yagra showed up, told Clue a bunch of Zanzarars were getting arrested, making him freak out, which then led him to just kind of
go ham.
After Floxin got under his skin, to just like dragging upstairs and just be like, I mean, the duel is technically two people, so not a duel, but fight at the very least. And then, we fought Floxin. He dashed out the window right as Thelvar's magic missile just killed him. Mm-hmm. Now we have a corpse in front of our tavern in broad daylight.
Again.
That happens.
It happens all the time.
Probably look into that. So the cops very much know about it, and that's where we left off.
And we have the address that the Nimblewright was told to deliver the Stone of Galore to.
Yes, you do. You have that as well. All right, so if I remember correctly, Thelvar was shouting out the window, there he goes, Urstil Floxin, he tried to murder us, or something like that. Mm-hmm. as he breathes his last. And yes, an officer in the area of the watch, basically swarming this area because of what was happening at Grulhull Villa. And what I'll do is I'll swap you guys over to the city map so you can kind of see in your neighborhood where it is relative to you, just get a sense of why it's super close. So if you go to where you guys, there's a bunch of you at the City of the Dead from the last time we had an interaction there. But as you know, Troll Skull Manor, I'm pinging it now. It's the purple one in the center. And Gralhund Villa is like just out a couple roads down from you. And that's why there are so many of the watch now in the area. So yeah, a young officer like sees this, as many people in the streets, actually, because it's kind of late in the afternoon. Urstil Floxin comes bursting out of your brand new goddamn windows that you just had installed for your bar and your grand opening through the curtains, dragging them out in the street. Jarvis is not at all happy with this. My curtains, I picked those up myself. They are like, oh, my hard work. There's a watch officer who sees all this happening, the explosion, and recognizes from his wanted signs Urstil Floxin. So at the moment, the watch officer, you can see, is blowing on his whistle. He's trying to get other officers to come to the scene, and he's also trying to do some crowd control. He looks over at all of you, who I'm sure are peering out. I don't know how many of you are trying to look surprised or trying to look like this, like, oh no, or whatever. He's not paying too much attention. He's not going to be doing any insight rolls on you at the moment, but looks over and says, don't go anywhere. We're going to have to interview you. You stay where you are. Don't leave the tavern. So,
of course, officer.
Yeah. You guys now have a few
smell
minutes.
bacon.
So Jarvis is going to come over and kind of, fuss over the window saying, I'll make sure that nobody comes over here to eavesdrop if you guys want to get your story straight. So you guys have a couple minutes to figure out what you're going to say to the cops before you're actually interviewed. I'll give you some time.
So just like kind of turns around. Okay. The easiest solution is, I've pretended to bump into him last night when I was distracting the cops. So what I say is, last night he chased Nimblewright, got the Stone of Galar off of him, bumped into me running away, then just assumed that I stole it while he probably just lost it somewhere, and then broke in, trying to get it back, got into a fight, corpse.
Stabbed Hibara.
Do we need to tell them about it?
I mean, we don't need to tell them about the stone. I mean,
we wouldn't know
About the stone.
Yeah, we know he broke in and was mad about apparently stealing somebody, but that doesn't mean he mentioned what.
Exactly.
All he said is, where is it? Where's what? Don't play games.
Stab.
Then we killed him.
He made the first move. How dare he attack my person? I am a delicate flower.
You can hear Jarvis from the running interference in front of the window. It's like, there's about 4 members of the watch right now. I'd imagine your time is running out.
We got it straight.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna
agree.
walk forward to just like kind of meet the watch. It's like, hey. It's like, we know what's gonna be happening here. I mean, kind of obvious.
Yeah. So you hear coming up the street. You hear, make way, make way, make way, and a carriage pulls up. And out comes your good old friend, Captain Eustace Staggett, I should say. Looking a little, like flushed, also a little bit, excitable and agitated. Comes out and he doesn't really pay any attention to you at the moment. He rushes over and he turns over, like they've kind of covered up the body of Urstil at this point. Someone's thrown a coat over him or whatever. And he picks it up and he checks it for himself. And then he looks up and he sees you, Clue. Because are you the only one outside or have other people come outside as well?
Thelvar's outside.
Okay.
Mara has gone outside and she's like pretending to clutch pearls.
Okay.
Like she has no pearls, but she's like clutching like the top of her
collarbone.
Her collar. And she's just like, he's a cat.
Oh, I can hear someone exhaling on their mic, by the way, just FYI. They just exhaled. So check your mic. I can hear you. Like I can still hear you breathing. Sorry.
I don't know if it's me.
Oh, you know what I can do? Ooh, that was blowing. Yeah, someone just blew on it.
That was me.
Oh, okay. I should. I can look by looking at the meet. Google Meet, but then I didn't because it was on a different screen. Anyway, he looks up, and he almost kind of has this very yeah. Hibara, where are you?
She is picking up pieces of the window and sticking them back together.
God.
That's very Hibara. Okay. Yeah, he looks up and he kind of has this mixture of like resignation, but also he's a little bit pleased. He's got a complex set of emotions seeing you guys in your faces again. He's like, oh, right, you lot. Well, Troll Skull Alley, I'm pretty much associating this death and destruction with your tavern at the moment. All right, let's get inside. And he kind of grabs a constable. This is, take notes. Yeah, and he asks to kind of be let into your tavern.
You have a warrant?
Of course. Come in, Captain.
Oh, by the way, Jolly is also upstairs in the topmost floor on the opposite to the Nimble Ride as well. So, yeah. Just FYI for everyone. Yeah, you guys walk in. He walks in last. Jarvis is busying themselves still at trying to assess the damage to the red velvet curtain windows. Lift.
There is no damage to the velvet curtain windows now.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, you got your mending. Yay, and Jarvis is so happy. Like they are just sort of petting the velvet and arranging it in these sort of gorgeous folds, that come down from the ceiling, and then organizing the material as it puddles on the floor within this sort of area to keep people from stepping on it, sort of like a raised area. And they're just having like they're in there doing their thing, Yes. Also, you've noticed that the Bobs and also Gorko have all slid upstairs. Like they don't want to be seen. They want to give. So they're like, oh, we didn't see anything. So they've disappeared upstairs as well. It's just the empty downstairs bar. And yeah, Eustace walks in and is kind of startled to see Liff, but also at the same time, it's kind of getting a feel for you guys. So asks, well, look, I know it's not. You might not technically be open, but do you happen to have any alcohol on the premises?
Of course. Liff, would you mind getting the good captain here a drink?
Would you all like to join me as well? I think this calls for a celebration.
Oh, I would love
Aren't
a
cops
drink.
supposed to not be drinking while they're on duty?
Well,
I mean, I shouldn't be drinking on the death of a scent, even if it was a Floxin.
look, I'm off duty as soon as I take your statements. So let's just say I'm clocking out a bit early, doing this on my own time.
Fair enough.
So yeah, Liff pours him a couple of fingers of whiskey. Anyone else want drinks?
Oh,
My usual, please.
Yep.
Liv.
Juice, right?
Something a little stronger.
Okay, what do you want, like a cider or something? There's a couple bottles of that pirate beer left.
Scotch. Not on the rocks.
All right.
2
Yes,
fingers.
he gets pouring. I heard Thelvar speak up.
Yes. I'll have what they're having.
All right. Pours more scotch. Clue.
I'm fine.
All right, Hibara.
She waves her hand from window while she's
Okay.
still repairing it.
Good. All right. So with anyone at the bar, including Liff, the captain raises up his glasses and clinks them with yours, saying cheers. And he just necks it. He doesn't even like sip it. It doesn't even know. You can't even tell if it touches the side. And you see him set the glass down, and he just sort of like almost puts 2 hands down as if he's letting the weight of a big weight off his shoulder. So he says, "Look, I'll have to do the investigation as to how Floxin ended up dead. hanging out at the front of your tavern. But let's just say the city is going to be very grateful for what you've done. Not really going to look into this because he was an armed fugitive. We knew he was dangerous, and he was also. This is going to hit the papers tomorrow, but because the money was already organised. I'm sorry, my accent's getting a little. I should have listened to some. I should have listened to some Sherlock Holmes and. What's the name of the police sergeant there?
Lestrade.
Lestrade. Yes, I should have listened to some Lestrade accent before I did my thing today, but I didn't. There's a 1,000 dragon reward for his capture, dead or alive. That's been approved by the city. So let me. I can get you the paperwork. You can go collect your 1,000 dragons as of tomorrow morning. But as I said, I still have to do an investigation. I have to take notes. I have to do my paperwork. So why don't you guys tell me? Start from the top. How did it start? How did he end up dead?
Well, basically, he came running in here through our back door, ranting about where is it, which we have no idea what it is. We tried to tell him that, but he wouldn't listen. He lunged for the good lady there and stabbed her in the shoulder, as you can see. There was a scuffle, which is why there's so much of a mess in here that needs clearing up. We fought him off. He turned to run as I fired my magic missiles. He went crushing out the window. My missiles connected, and yes, I didn't realize he was so close to death. But there we go. He's whatever he did, he deserved it.
Right, so he's writing down stuff. He's a little bit lagged behind you, so there's a few moments of silence as he sort of scribbles out the rest of what he has on a piece of paper, looks up and says, "Right, are the rest of you willing to put your name to that being this what happened, the accurate description of the events of this afternoon?"
Man is a cad, so yes.
Right, well, I'll just need you. Sorry, what was, go ahead.
I mean, just it's an accurate representation of what happened.
Right, well, I'll need you all to sign this piece of paper then. He kind of basically has written out like a formal statement based on like the name of the tavern, all of your names, and then at the end where he's got sort of blank space at the end of it, he just sort of draws 4 lines and puts down his mobile pocket quill and pen set that he has. And yeah, it's not really asking you guys a lot of questions.
Yeah, Clue's gonna sign it.
Thelvar signs.
Mara's signature has totally changed at this point. It is no longer Mara, like almost looking like it's like ending with like an AR somehow. No, it's like a legit like WAR in like a beautiful like what's the word? Like how monks and priests from like Old English, like Bibles, like that's
Calligraphy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, there's a very nice handwriting you got there. Right, well, I guess, you know, you guys were instrumental in the capture. I'll give you a little bit of what you're going to read about in the newspaper. Nothing here that's secret, but there was a massacre over at Grolholm Villa. Many Zents are dead. Several of the servants over there are dead. And we've been rounding up a lot of the Zents around the city, but with Floxin now deceased, we'll be able to focus on processing out those Zents that were involved, which ones weren't, and able to close the case, and hopefully this will put an end to that violence in the streets between the Xanathar and the Zents. Yeah, so thank you again. Oh, your receipt, right? And he takes out another piece of paper, and in it he basically kind of scribbles, which you'll see afterwards, which is, I Captain Eustace Stegat of the Waterdeep City Watch hereby attest to and certify that the holder of this note is eligible for collecting the full amount of a reward for the capture of the capture, dead or alive, of Urstil Floxin, and dates it. Everything else, and sets it down on the bar. Says, "Well, I'm going home to the wife. You lot have a nice night." And he sort of tips his cap. He's ready to walk out. Anyone want to say anything to him before he leaves?
Actually, just quickly considering Tibadian as equipment. I mean, not much love is lost to the guy, but he's still a Zan, so unless you know any other next of kin of his, we're probably the ones who are going to need to take care of his burial.
Well, I'll have to check them downstairs. If you want to follow up in a couple of days, you can.
Okay, great, thanks.
All right. Well, have a nice rest of your day. I'm off. I'll let all of the rookies take care of the rest of this. And, yep. Pauses.
Yes, you take care, Captain. Good to see you again.
Good to
Stay
see you.
safe.
I'll try, miss. And then he's off. And Jarvis, you can hear in the far corner, breathes a deep sigh of relief. Since, you've got a fugitive Nimblewright in your attic. That's a good thing too. Yes, so Jarvis comes by and says, I can get somebody to organize the windows for tomorrow. I don't know if there's other things that you need to do. I do know that you have that appointment with your team building exercise. I can summon Parker if you want. It'll take you. And what we can talk about, what we need to talk about, in terms of the business, we can talk about on the way to your training exercise, and then it's going to be it's kind of a pocket dimension, so time will go faster there than it will out here. So you're gonna it'll feel like longer, but you'll only be gone for probably 3 or 4 hours. That's what I've found generally when I've gone to the team building exercise events.
Very good, Jarvis.
Organize that for you. You've got therefore about like let's say if it's 4:30 now, you'll have till 6:30. You've got about 2 hours though to do what you like, and then we can have a little discussion in the back of the cart, or the wagon, I should say, on our way over.
I need to go retrieve something.
Oh,
Because
okay.
somebody didn't bring it for me.
What
We
did
had other commitments first.
All right, so is there something Mara wants to do?
Yes, Mara has to go get her spear.
Okay.
I mean, does she know where her spear is?
Yeah, she's gonna go looking for it.
Okay.
It
I mean,
shouldn't
I
be
could
too
point
hard.
you to the spear. I threw it over there, so.
So, when did you throw the sphere? Sorry, not the sphere, the spear. Do you remember whereabouts you threw it?
Yeah, it was.
I can go over to the map of the street.
It's wherever that dead body was supposed to be.
That body was over.
Oh, the
here,
thug.
I think. I just
Yeah.
threw it into a corner where it's not easily
Oh,
found.
okay. Yeah. Go ahead and do an investigation check. Clue can describe it to you, and it'll be a very low check.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You find it almost immediately based on his description. So you got your spear back.
Yay!
Okay.
Now I can actually use it.
Yay! Yes.
Well, in our whatever the thing is.
Yes, because you guys have to be all topped up for your
Yep.
your dinosaur races. You actually. So, all the fun you're going to have in this timeline, but you don't know it yet. Okay. Yes. So you guys have a little bit of time. I think you were discussing the stone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and there's also the Ori. Or whatever you guys want to do with the next 2 hours.
Bunch of stuff we can do.
So, what was that paper you guys signed?
Oh, right, because freaking Bara.
It's just confirming that what Thelvar said was correct.
That he killed Floxin?
Yes, but that our story we just told is correct, and that some of us did not commit torture in any way, shape, or form.
Not probably, at the very least.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So, yes, we have the address of where the Nimble Right was sent to deliver this stone.
We also know that the lady of Gunholm Manor is definitely going to be coming after us, so probably want to prepare for that at least a little bit.
Oh, Jolly's still upstairs too.
Oh, yeah. We're also going to need to, talk, well, hopefully, now that Floxin is dead, the Xanathar are going to be able to start with their preparations to get Jolly, out of the city. Yeah, he's probably going to be staying with us for at least a little bit. I mean, until then, we do have some guy from Xanathar with us, so might be any info there as well. But not necessarily something we have to deal with right now.
Indeed.
Probably a smart idea to leave Gorko home, just in case, though.
Yeah. Want to keep the ducky safe.
I was more thinking about him keeping Jolly safe, but I mean, that works.
And we need to figure out somewhere where we can have our Nimble Right friend hole up where he can be himself without fear of the authorities until we have things cleaned up.
It'd probably be best if he stayed here.
In some regards, yes, but it doesn't feel right making him stay in and stay out of sight. If we could get him off site and out of the city, it would be more advantageous to him, at least.
This is true, but it is safer for him to be here until we are able to get his maker. And then we can release both of them at the same time, and we don't have to go hunting for the Nimble Rights.
Very true.
Jarvis swings by as they're kind of walking around, and they pipe up and say, well, it's not really my place to say, but I've in my day had a few run-ins with the code legal of Waterdeep. And when it comes to crimes against citizens, let's see, murdering a citizen without justification is hard labor up to 10 years and damages up to 1,000 gold paid to the victim's kin, or with justification, 3 years hard labor or damages up to 1,000 gold paid to the victim's kin. Seems to me, if you were to look into a good lawyer who could argue that a Nimble Right doesn't have the moral capacity to make judgments about murder and were willing to pay off the families to compensate them, perhaps you might be able to buy, essentially, their freedom. Be expensive, potentially, but that is something that you guys perhaps might want to think about as an option. They don't have the death penalty in Waterdeep, except for treason and I think trying to set the city on fire. So it's hard labor, which really wouldn't be hard labor to a Nimble Right, you could argue. Therefore, the most just thing would be to compensate the families. Again, not my business. It's not that I've ever had any situations where, I've had to become. No, I've had plenty of situations where I've had to deal with the law. So you can benefit from the wisdom of my experience, they say.
Wait.
Hmm.
So I don't. What?
Did Ibarra's head explode?
If someone that it's not a person, it's a thing. That's like trying to have a sword be charged money for some guy stabbing someone with it.
Well, it is an intelligent construct.
Yeah, but I
and there
don't
are
know if the law cares
swords.
about that.
But on the other hand, it was not aware that what it was doing would harm people. He was instructed to just throw the bead. He didn't know what it was going to do. He was manipulated into it.
I mean, arguably, the charge of murder would be to whoever gave him the order, considering I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
within
that.
the legal, he is still technically an item independent of his own sentience. And we're talking about law here, so technicalities are the only thing that matters.
Indeed.
So, if anything, it's a good way to get that woman arrested.
Most definitely.
Although, again, that does mean letting him out, which means he's still gonna be somebody's property.
Well,
Wouldn't
if we can
the
clear
guards
his
take
name,
him?
then personally,
he'd be
I
a
don't
murder
see
weapon.
it. As I was saying, if we could clear his name, I don't see a problem with the two of them staying with us.
I mean, buy them and then just treat them as if they're people. I guess that works. But then again, I don't. They're probably pretty fucking expensive, though.
Well, they're magical constructs. I shouldn't think they would really cost anything to run. Maybe a topping up of their magic every now and then, and
I mean, more getting them. I mean, more buying them. Because if we steal him, then the House of what were they called again? The House of Inspired Hands is just gonna sue our ass because it's theft. They can't just take them. If we want them legally, we need to buy them, which means getting them to sell them to us, which is
What
gonna
if
be annoying.
the nimble right runs away?
I mean, if he runs away and then we have them, and then they ask us to give them back, we need to give them back. In fact, we already
No, then
know.
we lie.
Yeah, but if they figure out we lied, we committed this thing called theft.
Can't it write?
indeed it can.
So why don't you just have it write its murder plan down, and then you take it to the guard, and then the guard has the confession, which is a murder weapon,
I mean,
and then
that
the
would-
lady gets
Well, he didn't
arrested.
he didn't have a murder plan. He was
Yes,
just
he's the
told-
weapon. I get it.
I mean, we could use. Well, technically, you could use him in a court of law to convict her, but at the same time, that would mean they needed to accept the
The sentient.
Yeah, not just the sentience, but the testimony of the nimble, right? Especially considering we know she has ties to the watch and she's a noble, so gonna not be too willing to call her a murderer. So we're fighting uphill, and then the only real evidence we have is a testimony of a thing they don't consider a person. Something we may be able to manipulate some way. Well, at least we can't prove that we didn't. And that's not even getting started on Nim, who's, still with his owners. And those owners, and these people committed no crime as far as I know.
Of the crime of slavery?
Nope, not illegal. Owning nimble rights currently not illegal.
I don't understand though. What's the big deal about this stone? Why does everyone want it?
I mean,
what does it do?
It shows you where some treasure is, money, the reason people do things.
And why don't we do that?
I mean, they would get money, but probably, considering how many people have died because of that piece of rock, I don't know if just blindly chasing it is that smart of an idea.
How does it show? But she pulls it out. It's just a rock.
It's a magic rock.
Yeah, but it's not doing anything.
I mean, you're supposed to magic to it or something. I don't know.
I believe it's more of a key than a map.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be both. You're attuned to it, know where it is, and then use it to get into things. I don't know. I haven't touched a rock.
She's just holding it out at this point.
I mean, does somebody want to attune to it, or because
I will do it.
I mean, that was probably the one I trust the most with this stuff.
I wish I could get all the pictures have descriptions, and I don't want to show you the description. But yeah, it's a sort of a greenish stone, but it looks like it's got almost sort of eyes, 3 eyes almost looking out. There's sort of a glossy part to it. But yes, so it's about the size of a palm of, it fits in the palm of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So Thelvar going to attune to it?
Yep, Thelvar's going to take the stone and he's going to head upstairs and attune to it while waiting for Parker.
Okay, is just so I can get a read on it. What are other people going to do during this hour? Are you going to watch Thelvar, or are you going to?
Thelvar's going to watch them.
Okay, it's going to sit and
Who's going to spend some time learning some more Undercommon, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. That's fine.
Mara's still nursing her drink, so she's just I'm going to sit here at the bar and have fun with Liv.
All right, yeah, you guys gets out the tic-tac-toe chalkboard, or offers you a checkers board as well if you want. All right, so Thelvar, yes, you go to the second floor. You said to attune to the stone.
Yeah, to Thelvar's room.
Oh, to your room, okay. So Mara's just staring at you, outside the doorway. And yes, you spend an hour with it. And as you're attuning to it, you feel, the first thing you notice is that there is a presence. And the presence, it feels like it's sort of reaching out to you and trying to find, the way to connect with you. And over the course of the hour, you feel suddenly at the end of it like a kind of a piece snapping into place in a jigsaw, and you feel the force of this mind in your mind, and it says, "Hello, cursed one."
Hello, stone.
Mm-hmm. I'm finally with people who can take me to where I need to be to accomplish my mission. It's good to finally be with those who can help me fulfill my destiny.
and help you fulfill your destiny is exactly what we plan to do. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's very good to be in your mind. So, you want to know how to end your curse?
That I would very much like.
I can help you with that. I see what you want more than anything, and I think I can help you, give you the right direction to move in, to point you further in your quest than you've been able to go so far by pauses, and you feel something poking around in your brain, like poking around in your memories, and you get a flash of letters with your mother's handwriting. It says, more than you've learned from your mother's letters that you found.
That would be much appreciated.
Well, I too am interested in collecting knowledge. If you're willing to let me use your brain, I see you have quite a lot of information on nobility in Waterdeep, the connections of social families. You feel more sort of fingers almost like poking into parts of your brain. You didn't know you had muscles there or feeling there, yet something feels very strange as this thing is bound to you. So, yeah, this looks good. I'm willing to trade you some information for some of what you know.
Fair enough.
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you. Make a DC saving throw against an intelligence save. Oh, you're very lucky. You only take a deduction of 1 intelligence point for the next hour. It'll wear off by the time you need to ride dinosaurs. It's okay.
Yeah.
Not that it will matter.
But yeah, you feel almost like the stone.
Yeah, maybe it lasted a little bit longer, which is why it kept falling off.
Yes,
Twice.
yes. So it's actually an 8-hour effect.
Fell off twice.
Yeah, but it almost feels like every once in a while you'll just get flashes of almost like, it's digging around in your neural. You wouldn't know this as Thelvar, but like sort of out of game. It's searching your memories. It's treating your brain like a library, going through your life and just going, oh, this is interesting, and learning this little bit that I already knew, and it just seems to be like kind of sucking, your memories up and incorporating it into itself. And after, you can't quite tell how long it is that this is kind of like, you see Hibara staring at you in her very Hibara way while this is happening. Yes, it says, yes, that's fine for now. What would you like to know? I give you some of the information you need, but I will want to talk to each member of the party. Each of you have something.
I will discuss that with them. But personally, I would like to know how I can end this curse.
Right. So.
That doesn't sound like where the map is, Thelvar.
Oh, you get.
And well, part of the deal is to help him finish his task, which is to open the way to the dragons.
It can hear Hibara through your mind. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Are you sure? Wait, what? What's going on? You tell her all the stuff that happened.
Well, I have done a deal with the stone, some of my knowledge in exchange for its help, and helping it complete its task.
Sorry, Thelvar, but that talk sounds hella fucking cursed.
I still have my memory. He just read my memories. That is all.
Magical items don't read your memories for shits and giggles, man. He's trying to pull something.
Well,
Mara's very
What?
glad that she's downstairs.
well, we're
can I just
trying
say
to
that
pull
right now?
something too, so fair is fair.
Yeah.
Thelvar, I'm gonna need to talk to you about what's a thing and what's not a thing. We're gonna need to talk about this at some point.
Yes.
But
So
you just traded it, and you never asked what it wanted.
It wanted to complete the task for which it was made, which was
Thelvar, that doesn't say anything.
Yeah, and it's moving down into your memories to see your desires, so it can make you do things.
now I'm just
Good
imagining.
item. Don't do that. That's generally really fucky.
I'm just imagining poor, Thelvar sat on his bed, and Hibara sat cross-legged on the floor in the doorway, just staring, like fascinated. And then Clue's standing in the doorway, yelling at Thelvar, like siding with Hibara.
And Mara's downstairs getting drunk.
The stone
Totally
says,
unaware of the bullshit that's going on.
the stone says in your mind, I will give you personal information that you seek, and I'll also give you information on how to obtain the dragons.
yes, thank you. It has told me that it will give me the location and how to find the dragons, and information on how to end my curse. So it has given us the information that we desire, especially the information that I desire. So some of our knowledge in exchange is perfectly fine as far as I'm concerned.
God damn it, Thelvar. This kind of stuff is gonna get you killed someday. Don't trust platinum rocks.
Oh, if I don't do anything, I will die anyway because of this damned curse.
You can tell your friend
Fair point.
Clue. If he wants to know where his sister is, he should talk to me.
The stone has told me that if you want to know where your sister is, Clue, then you should talk to the stone yourself.
Where is
Sounds-
Thelvar
sounds like
holding the stone? How is Thelvar holding the stone? Like, where is the stone right now?
Thelvar, where's the stone?
In Thelvar's hands.
Hibara slaps your hand. Like she is trying to slap the stone out of your hand.
All right, make an attack roll.
Oh god.
What's your AC, Thelvar?
It's 16.
Ooh, okay. Roll high. You can have a dex advantage if you want to, or a strength, depending on whether you're trying to, like, smack it, with finesse or smack it with force.
I guess finesse.
Okay, yeah, give me a roll with your
She's
dex
trying to
bonus.
slap it out of his hand, not like break him. Or
Right,
break-
yeah. Make
break
it kind of like a acrobatics or a sleight of hand is kind of what I'm thinking. But a dex with your bonus, yeah.
Okay, I can just roll sleight of hand since I don't
Yeah,
have any
that'll work.
proficiency in that. 18.
Oh, yeah, it goes clattering across the floor, but it's fucking stone, so nothing happens to it. You're still attuned to it. You don't have to be touching it to be attuned to it.
Mhm.
It just like kind of grabs a stone and just looks at it, just like, this stone needs to learn to shut the fuck up. Just like
Don't pick
walks
it up.
away with it.
I don't need to hold the stone anymore. I'm already attuned. So
Well, let's see how far.
Slapped it out of his hand.
What is going on down there?
Yeah, you like suddenly no, I'm like, see,
Mine just
figure, Gorko comes running downstairs and looks at Mar and goes, Clue and Hibara are fighting. It's kind of like the scene from The Matrix when they say Neo and Morpheus are fighting. And then run back upstairs.
Blue just like looks at his hands. I was just putting it away, Barrow. What the fuck?
She picks the stone off the ground.
The stone in your mind, Thelvar, says, if your friend wants to know how to burn up curses, I can give her the instructions on how to do that as well.
The stone tells me, Hibara, that if you want to know how to burn up curses, the stone can tell you that too.
Mara,
No, tell you, Thelvar. Stop talking. Stop saying what I want you to say.
Mara, it like is baffled and slightly cross-eyed because she's been drinking. She's been enjoying her drink, and she's just like, the warmth that she's just like, oh, I remember Alexander the Great. He was fantastic. And then Gorko had interrupted her, so she's just like, huh? And so she walks up the stairs following Gorko and just sees Clue telling Thelvar to shut up. Hibara is holding the rock now. And guys, what the fuck?
As soon
I
as
have
Thelvar
attuned to the
tell
stone.
Hibara that,
It
she
wanted
would've ran
information in
downstairs.
exchange for information. Fair is fair.
Okay.
Where did it
Choosing
wait,
to think that it's the end of the damned world.
All right. Well, wait.
Thelvar?
The rock giving you very personal
taker.
information about me, so you can fucking tell me to doing magical things with it, okay, Thelvar? Not generally a good sign.
Thelvar, where does it keep its brain? Can you see where it keeps its brain? No. So you don't tell it shit. That's the first rule of handling magical objects. I don't even handle magical objects, and I know that rule. You should be ashamed of yourself, Thelvar. Bad Thelvar.
Okay. I think
Then-
Hibara
Then
wanted
we
to get
would
in
never
there.
have found.
Oh yeah. When
Yeah.
so basically when Mara was coming up, like pretty much as I imagine that as soon as she was like, "What the fuck, y'all?" and was relatively at the same time, Thelvar was like, "It can tell you how to burn away curses." Yeah. So basically, just Hibara pushes past Mara and runs downstairs.
Oh, okay. Hibara's skedaddles. Is it still in her hand?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So while you guys are shouting, Hibara is making off with the stone. What do you do?
Oh, she's going to Jarvis.
Okay. Anyone upstairs going to react?
God damn it, Hibara.
Thelvar's
I mean,
attuned.
I
He doesn't need to be
do.
holding it to communicate with it,
Okay. Yeah.
obviously. So
Louis is thinking, I mean, Hibara at the very least isn't gonna use it, but he's still stuck with the Thelvar problem.
Okay, so first Hibara, yeah, you rush downstairs. Jarvis is there. They're stood behind the bar, like doing paperwork. Looking at. You can see there's a whole bunch of like resumes, stacks of different like resumes into piles that they're looking through. And they look up as you sort of rush, down from upstairs into the bar area.
She goes, "We have a problem."
Okay. They reply.
She puts the stone on the stack of papers.
It's a paperweight.
Well, I guess you could use it for a paperweight, but I'm pretty sure there's some sort of demon or devil inside it.
Oh, probably. Kind of looks at it. Well, most likely. That. I mean, look at the. Again, I wish. Again, it's sort of got these sort of. All right, if I'm gonna do an edit and show you guys something, but you have to like not read the text. All right, I'm just gonna like give it to you to show you. So it should be in all of your journals now. Just so you can get an idea of what it looks like. So when you pop it open, if you start to read the text underneath, just scroll up. You'll see like wondrous item.
Oh, that's hella demony.
Yep, that's all I
Nope. Nope.
So, all right, I'm taking it away now, so you're not tempted. But that's what it looks like. Yeah.
Mara's already
Yeah,
decided
Mara's
this
just like, this is
one has to die.
100% demon.
Shut up, Sirius. You're fine.
And what would you like me to, what should we do about this though? Hibara? Yeah, Jarvis looks at you.
How do we get rid of it?
You could do some research into its background and learn its weaknesses. If you want to do that kind of research, I can help you organize that kind of thing.
No, I think that would take too long. That sounds like lots and lots of reading.
Yes, it would require quite a lot of reading, actually, yes. They smile.
Ooh.
So while this conversation is happening upstairs, the Golar, let's call it in your mind, says, to open the vault, you will need the 3 keys. You will need 3 black diamonds in order to open up the vault where the dragons are stored. So it says that to you in your mind, Thelvar.
Kind of glad that the Galore doesn't have any kind of decides not to say anything about Mara because
Oh no.
That'd be so bad.
Is that any black diamonds or 3 specific black diamonds?
Any black diamonds will do. In fact, you might be able to pick them up on your travels.
Oh boy.
See, I know where you're going. I know what's going to happen. Well, a little bit, some of it's murky, but I see the lines of fate coming together. Oh, speaking of fate. You have been unfortunate in your fate. Your curse is not intended for you. Your curse is an echo of a curse. A curse that went wrong and awry. Blemish on the weave. Thing that you need to destroy your curse takes 2 steps. I'll tell you the first, but the second one will require more information from you. Another gift of your memory.
Well, tell me the first, and when I need to know the second, we can do that exchange.
Stupid.
God
God damn it!
Fucking with curse shit.
In the basement of the Castle Lanterns is a temple to the goddess of curses, goddess of misfortune, the goddess of misery. Inside the neckpiece of the High Priestess, inside in a hidden compartment, is the hair of your ancestor that bears the curse. The first step in breaking the curse is to obtain your ancestor's hair, and then I can help Hibara perform the right fire magic to make sure it is completely destroyed.
That sounds good. I will definitely let you know once I have hold of the hair.
Right, now that you've kind of gotten a few minutes of sitting with the stone, you're also noticing that you're feeling kind of good, but also kind of bad. You feel in some ways more powerful, but in other ways you feel a little bit sickly, just like slightly off. While you are
I wonder why.
While you are attuned to the Stone of Galore, you are you get to have a reaction where you can resist 1 type of damage, but then it locks it in until your next long rest. So if you want to pick fire damage, you can become resistant to fire damage, or cold, or acid, whatever else, but it's just 1 type, and it only lasts until your next long rest. But you also have disadvantages on all saving throws versus any kind of spell attack against you, because you're feeling a little bit weak constitution.
Okie dokie.
I have a question.
Mara or Kelsey?
Kelsey.
Yeah, okay.
Can Mara try using healing hands to disconnect Thelvar from?
To lose attunement, someone else would have to attune, or Thelvar would have to like try to willingly unattune from the item. So
Aren't there ranges?
So Mara can't like use hands of healing, or hands of harm.
No, attunement is not like
is
a
there
curse.
a range limit?
Sorry, is there a what? A range limit for what?
A range limit for Galore's attunement.
Not that you found yet. Not in the length of the tavern.
Well, I figured that much.
Yes. I mean, you can do if you. I don't know if you've read anything today. You could try to do a reading on about. Yeah, I think the last reading you did was on. Oh, Thelvar did a reading on some enemy, but yeah, without like, you could do more research into the stone. You could try to find out more about it, but at the moment, it's everything about it is new, and of course, you can't hear any of the things that are happening in Thelvar's head. So all you guys are gonna have to sort of metagame that. But yeah, like. Here's the thing, though. So you can also tell Thelvar that there is it kind of costs a spell to interact with it, and you can. I can give you the instructions actually on this because it's basically like legend lore. I should open this up before I should start this up. So the way that the stone works, just on the technical level, open up the thing. How come it's not open? Already open? Come on, open the Stone of Golor. I don't know why. Anyway, it's basically 3 times a day you can interact with it. I'm honestly not too wedded to that rule. Actually, I might just say you can interact with it whenever you want because I think it's more interesting and in that way it feels more like an attuned. So never mind. You basically have your advantage on your resistance type, your saving thing, and it's sort of in the back of your mind. You can kind of call on it, or it can call on you whenever it wants. Yeah, so it gave you the piece of information you know, and yeah, you're kind of like dinted for the next few hours, several hours on your intelligence rolls, but otherwise you've probably learned more about the source of your curse than you have in years.
A worthy exchange, even if I have to betray the stone later.
I wonder if you'll be able to betray the stone later.
I mean, don't think that too loud.
Right? You're like,
thinking that OOC.
I mean, there's a very solid chance that Thelvar's fucking progeny are gonna be looking like Clue before you know it.
Right, and then the stone goes quiet. It says, it whispers to you, oh, and your friend Mara is most interesting.
Yeah, we already know that bit.
Right.
And then it goes quiet. So, yeah, Hibara, you and Jarvis are downstairs, looking at this hella ugly, green, creepy stone.
Mara decides to abandon Thelvar to Clue and just is like, you don't listen. You act like you know everything. Ugh, mortals these days. And just flounces down the stairs. And it's just like, Hibara, what did you do with the freaky thing?
I'm sorry, which one of us is trained in the art of arcane matters? Oh, that's right, it's me!
Yeah,
I think I don't know what I'm doing.
Jarvis, do you have any pen and paper?
Radical shit, man. Trust gets you into a lot of trouble.
Jarvis says, of course, Hibara, and reaches down, they open up a drawer. They don't pull out the paper birds, they just pull out normal ink, quill, and paper.
Okay. She writes on it, there's a demon in this. Don't listen to it. It will try to eat you.
Try to eat you. I love it.
Waits for the inks to dry. Wraps the stone in the paper. Then takes out her little black box.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
With the scream fungus in it.
Sure. Yep.
And opens that, so I guess scream.
You'll hear suddenly the sort of like high pitch yeah, kind of going off as you open it up and the light touches it, and it sort of like starts to shudder and almost like whistle this high-pitched screech.
Puts the stone in the box,
Mm-hmm.
closes it,
It goes quiet.
and hands the box to Jarvis and says, I need you to bury this in the cellar.
To bury it in the cellar.
Yes. Doesn't have to be very deep. I
The
just
cellar is made out of stone.
Is it stone?
Bury things in stone.
Is it stone? I
Have
thought
to
it
knock
was.
out the stone
I thought it was-
flooring. Yeah, because like of all the heavy wine and stuff and things that down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Okay, then you don't need to bury it there. Then she will take another piece of I need another piece of paper.
Okay. Yeah, yep. Nice pile of
And
it.
she writes check on Carl. And she draws a little fern,
Okay.
little vague fern shape.
Alright.
And then she goes upstairs to her room
With the box and the stone?
and
Or-
the paper.
And the paper.
With the stone, the box, and the papers.
So Thelvar, you can tell that you can feel where the stone is in the house.
Mhm.
Almost like if you were hearing it rattle around and you recognize like which floor someone was on by the noises and the acoustics and stuff. You can tell that it's still on the premises.
Kelsey has a question.
Mhm.
Do you have to be able? Oh crap! I can't attune to multiple things, can I?
You can attune to up to 3
3.
magical items.
Okay.
But your force pins, whatever else, those don't count toward your
Okay.
totals.
They don't?
Nope.
Oh.
I don't have a force pin. I just have the gloves.
Okay.
Mara runs into Habara and looks at her and goes, I have a question for you.
Can I wait a minute?
Not if you're taking Mr. Fugly with you.
Define that, please.
If you're going to take Mr. Fugly with you wherever you go, I would like to have a conversation with it.
Oh no.
If
That-
you,
that's-
Mm,
This is not a good idea. Also,
I understand
you're not
that.
doing that.
I understand that it's not a good idea. However, I do feel like we need to uncompromise Thelvar. If we don't, Mr. Ugly is just going to continue to manipulate. And I feel like you and I understand that he manipulates.
What's that 12 give me for?
You're trying to judge Mara?
I
That
mean,
would be-
at this point, Hibara is like deeply suspicious.
Habara has trust issues.
Well, kind of, but like she has number one, she had the world-shattering revelation that Mara's background is very similar to hers,
Mm-hmm.
so her weirdness isn't attributed to just being from a city. Then there's the whole recent shift in her personality.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just sort of like, I guess she's just sort of guessing, asking the question, is this Mara? But like, she's suspicious that something is up with Mara.
Okay, so Kelsey, when I do ability checks like this, the
Mhm.
more difficult a task is, the higher the roll is. And so I would say, depending on how you're playing Mara, if there's something you're holding back from her and it's a very deep dark secret that would, take like a 16 or a 17. If it's something almost like in your unconscious, it would take like like a 20. Like that would be a crit, would be
Right.
like, to be able to judge that on you. But based on, I mean, how truthful Mara's being or not, or to what extent Mara's being truthful. So based on Hibara's role, what would you say she could tell about Mara's intention, motivations, sort of? Is she being genuine here and upfront and honest, or would she sense something else is at play? How would I'll let you determine what a 12 is.
Sure. If Hibara out and asked if Mara was Mara, War would tell her the truth.
Basically, I'm wondering, does the 12 get Hibara that Mara is not Mara? Like, that this is not the person?
Yes. Hibara can sense that this is definitely a different entity.
Okay. Yeah. She kind of holds back the box a bit closer to herself, and she goes, we won't have to worry about that. I don't think. It should be fine. We won't need you to. I don't want you to risk yourself.
Dear child, I'm not risking myself. I would rather protect an ally than disrupt one. And this rock is disrupting my ally.
Who are you?
I have gone by many names, but the one I am most favorable with is War.
What are you?
Something old, something new. Man lives with me within his heart and soul.
So that doesn't sound like a demon or a devil.
I have served demons, I have served devils. I have served man, and I have served death.
That almost sounds like some sort of old god.
I mean, God did create us. And she emphasizes the fact that it's a singular. Like, not multiple gods, the God.
Okay. I want to find out more about what this whole thing is with you and Mara, and what's going on with all of this. And she just sort of gestures to the whole of you. But I don't think Mara needs two demons in her head. And more to the point, given what you've said, would you be comfortable with sacrificing someone else?
As long as I am in the room when it happens, then yes.
I don't know if I can promise that one. It'll be pretty late, and I know Mara needs sleep.
She needs sleep. I do not.
That won't hurt you?
I
Or
live with it.
her?
I will
Okay.
survive.
Okay, then I guess I can. Okay.
Dear child, just keep me in the loop. if you are that worried for Mara's sake,
Okay, she's being earnest, right?
yes,
Okay.
like War recognized a kindred spirit in Hibara and will be completely upfront with her.
Okay.
Mainly because
So-
she thinks that Hibara will totally be down with like all of the shenanigans that I have planned.
That is very probably true. Okay.
The two evil things conspiring against another evil thing. Yeah,
Oh,
totally up and up.
yes. You could Hibari can tell 100% that War is being truthful.
Okay, perfect. So she's just gonna lay out her plan for Mara. Do you remember? I don't know how long we can discuss how long you've been here later, but do you remember Clue getting attacked by a drow and like dying?
Yes. That was very funny.
So I've been
Excluding the room for this, or
No.
No.
I'm kind of
because he
picturing.
would do that right in the room. I'm entirely sure, but
I'm kind of picturing the girls in Hibara's room with all her deadly plants and her very Spartan existence and most of her dilapidated furniture. That's where I'm picturing this happening.
That's kind of what ended up happening. Like
Yes.
Mara like inbound with Hibara and basically have followed her up the stairs.
To her room.
pretty much the only correction to that image is that there is no furniture. It's all mulched.
I stand corrected. I'm not sitting corrected because there's no furniture.
So yeah, she tells her, I've been in contact with them, kind of. And I think what might be best is to give them the stone. Now that we know that it is a literal demon trapped inside. And also might kill two birds with one stone. Hold on a moment. She runs downstairs to go get the pen and paper. Or go get the pen.
Okay. Yep, you can do that. Come back.
She adds to the check on Carl
Yes.
letter with maybe give it to what's his face, the guy with the jerk and the angry boy. And she draws like a little elf face with angry
with an angry expression.
And then like an elf with X's for eyes with a big cross over it.
Okay.
Like that guy. So yeah, and then she just tells Mara, so I'm going to bury it. So I put it in this box and I'm going to bury it in Carl. I'm going to leave this note pinned up on the wall there. And then I'm going to have the drow come and pick it up.
While Hibara was gone, Mara was like fiddling with like a couple of the plants just
the blood
because.
vines.
Yeah. and she's like not just like fiddling with them, she's like actively cooing at them, just like, who's a pretty little blood vine? You are. Yes, you are. A boo 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 boo. A boo boo boo. Kind of like a like clearly still has a screw loose, but is now at the point of anything that's deadly or is cute as a button. But when Hibara comes back in, she's just like, okay, cool. If you trust them, child, then I see nothing wrong with it.
It's not so much trusting them, it's more killing two birds with one stone. You see, and she tells her how she recounts the conversation she had with Thelvar. Yeah, Thelvar.
Felric. Yeah, Felrict.
And
can you
she
describe
recounts
like
that conversation?
Yeah, like how would she describe that? I'm just curious as to how Hibara's take on that. which she remembers.
Just how it was very amenable and how reasonable everything was, and basically the two birds with one stone, and also how she totally bragged about how important shit like this just falls in our laps.
Yes. Okay.
and so then she also points out how one of the drow is racist against elves, and that's when she points to her notification as like, so see, if we put the demon in his head, that should be good for everyone.
So at this point, Thelvar, you and Clue, I imagine, are having a conversation or something while this is happening. You hear a voice at the back of your head saying, "She wants to send me away, Thelvar. If I attune to someone else, there's a very good chance you'll lose all memory of our conversation. You'll forget where the stone, where your curse, where the key to breaking your curse is. You won't remember the images I'll share with you as to how you can find it. Very important that we aren't parted until it's time."
You okay, buddy?
Yes, I just need to go and have a word with Hibara. And
I'll go with you.
walks up the room,
Bog behind.
walks down the stairs. Hibara, honestly, you're not getting rid of the stone.
Tell her I need her to burn. She's the one who can burn the curse, the death grasp curse with the fire that I will teach her.
You always wanted to burn my curse away, and you have the golden opportunity right here, and you won't trust me. Just give me the stone.
Hibara looks at Mara and just goes, "See? This is why."
This is true.
Turns to Thelvar and go, "Thelvar, do you know where the bulk of curses come from?"
I have a good idea, yes.
They come from people abusing and using demons and devils.
Clue just like casually takes a step back.
Look, when you are done, when you found the dragons, I will be released, and I will be able to go back to where I belong, Stone says in your mind, Thelvar. That's what I want to get to. I want to get back to where I belong.
And where is that?
Where's what?
I'm not talking to you.
Unfortunately, we've used up our knowledge exchange for today, but perhaps tomorrow you can ask again.
Hearing voices is a bad sign.
Mara, really? You're gonna be the one saying that?
What? I don't hear voices. I am perfectly fine. Thank you very much.
Aren't
Yes,
you?
of course you are. And you, Hibara, who just finds it amusing to burn people up whenever they feel like it, lecturing me on what evil to trust and what evil not to trust. Just hand over the stone.
Yeah, see, Thelvar, I have your best interest at heart, because your best interest is my best interest. But that's not the case for whatever demon or is in this. It doesn't care about you living. It just wants what it wants, and it will lie, and it will do whatever it says to get what it wants. And I don't think you, of all people, living with this curse, would want more curses on them from dealing with demons.
You said curses come from people, not from the demons.
No, they come from demons. It's the people that ask the demons, and the demons then do the curses.
And if I
Just
have
like,
control of the
confirm
demon,
that.
I'm not going to curse myself, stupid child.
I mean, most
I am
curses.
much older than you.
I mean, most curses happen because you ask a demon for something, and then there's like some interdimensional, invisible text somewhere, and then suddenly, oh, you want to take some power, and now you're cursed, and all your bloodline is cursed. I mean, how the thing
Normally,
goes.
how it's done, you make a deal with a demon or a devil.
You're the one that asked me to
Demons
demons
aren't really that deep.
in order to find the dragons. I did precisely that, and now you're not happy with it?
Well, that's because I thought it was just a map, and it would tell you where it is. I didn't realize that it was
And
a
I
demon.
told you it wasn't. I've told you time and time again that you don't understand magical items. You won't listen to me.
You're the one arguing for listening to the weird cursed rock, Thelvar. It's 3 against 1. Do not trust the rock.
Then
Just
trust me.
But you're trusting a rock.
Not so much that we don't trust you, Thelvar. It's just that you have a gun to your head.
I
And
have
this
no
guys-
gun in my head. I gave up
Before-
what I gave up willingly in order to find what I need and what we need.
Thelvar, can we at
And what
least
I need
agree?
from you all now is for you to trust me.
Thelvar, can we at least agree to like research into this thing a bit more before you give in more of your memories?
Well, if you were paying attention, Clue, until we complete the first part of ending my curse, I am not giving him any more of my memories.
Okay, so guess we're going to do some research before then, don't we?
Now hand over the stone, Habara, and trust me.
You're not getting the stone, Thelvar. We're putting it somewhere none of us can just grab it and run away with it, okay?
She is planning to get rid of it.
Yeah, and she shouldn't have it in that case. But we don't just give it to you either. Don't want you disappearing into the night.
I am not going to disappear into the night.
You're attuned to a demon rock. I cannot take your word for it here, man.
Demon Rock is a
I
great.
need the help of my friends to cure my curse. I am not going anywhere.
Just say that until the rock starts saying weird shit in your dreams, and suddenly you're gone. We never hear from you again.
Whether I have the rock or not, that is not going to change the communication I have with it.
I mean, if you don't have the
How
rock,
do you think I
one of us
knew that
can
she was trying to
suddenly-
get rid of the stone?
But see, Thelvar, that's just it. I know that you don't need to have it in order to talk to the demon inside. But the demon knows that if someone else gets it, it can't use you anymore.
And if someone else gets it and attunes to it, I lose the knowledge.
Then why don't you write down the knowledge? That way, if you lose the knowledge, it doesn't affect you. You have
Also,
it written down.
if it can take away that knowledge, what else can it take away, Thelvar?
That
Ever think
too.
about that? It can take away your memories. Won't only be taking the things that it gave you.
I will say again, who is the one trained to use magic items? Who is the one that understands magic items? You need to trust me for once.
Look, it's cursed, Thelvar. How can I trust you while you're actively attached to something that's gonna try and manipulate you? You may be trained to use magical items, but I don't think you're particularly versed in things trying to mess with your mind.
If it was going to manipulate me, it would have done so already.
Isn't that what
argue
it's doing right now?
Kind of.
No,
Are you sure?
it has already given me more knowledge on freeing myself of this damned curse than I have in the years that I have tried to free myself of it. Do not take this from me. Trust me.
There we have it. There we have the angle that Rock is gonna abuse until you do something fucking dumb.
That's
I mean,
what
we could just let
demons
Thelvar do
Thelvar.
something fucking dumb. I mean,
just
if
let him
they
do
give you-
something fucking dumb often enough.
They present to you something you really want, and then they take more than what that's worth. And you might
It's
not
not-
realize it's more
It's
until
not
after it's
want,
gone.
Ibarra. If I do not free myself from this curse, I will be dead in a matter of years.
Yeah,
Do you not understand what it's like living with this curse threatening to kill me any day?
we can
No,
figure this out on our own, Thelvar. We don't need to curse Rock, okay? We'll figure this out.
but if one demon knows it, it can't be. It's not like no one else but this one demon knows how.
It knows how because I attuned to the stone.
It well, you didn't know that information, so he must have gotten it somewhere else.
Exactly.
If it knows about your curse, it's probably attached to Bashaba at some point.
Either that
Otherwise,
or
it
it's just
wouldn't know
lying.
at all. Fair point, but that we would figure out too fast. Like, it needs to at least start with verifiable information. So it's probably attached to Bashaba at some point. Maybe EO with. I do not know.
Everyone do me an intelligence check. I don't want to interrupt the role playing too much. I am enjoying this. I am loving this, by the way. I feel like I should get drunk. It's like a television show. It's like reality TV. This is amazing. Everyone's doing such a great job. But yes, really quickly. Yep, Thelvar and Clue. Mara, you might have been. Yeah, you remember when you read the letter that Zord wanted published at the newspaper, the Wazoo, that one of the names of the accused, like worshippers with blood rituals and all that kind of stuff, was the Castle Lantern.
How fun. Mara's not going to share that information. She's having too much fun laughing at everybody. So she's just going to keep it to herself.
Okay.
Look, it has traded me this information so that I will give it what it wants.
And that
If
would
I
be-
don't get what I want, it doesn't get what it wants.
Yes, but it has complete access to your brain, right?
Problem is we don't know what it wants. It may tell you it wants something, that doesn't mean that's what it actually wants.
that too. But what did it tell you it wanted, Thelvar?
It wants to go back to whence it came.
I mean, we have another thing, Tel. We have another
So-
magical item that stinks. I say play them out against each other. See which one of the two decide is the more powerful one, the augury or the fucking rock. Delver's mind may
Actually-
explode, but
Actually, that's a good idea.
Guess
I
we're
still
getting
haven't
to
ruled
Augury.
out the augury as a cursed object, but it's not evil. So why don't you attune to the augury, Thelvar, and consult it?
Thelvar's just gonna have two voices in his head arguing.
Yeah,
I
the
offer
Ori,
to
by
tune
the
with
way.
the
The
Ori,
Ori.
and you say no. Now you want me to attune to it? Oh my. Mm. You people, you
Thelvar,
can never
You
make your
never
mind
get her
up.
anyway, so that's how it works out.
breathe, Thelvar. It will be okay. However, that is a good idea. You should deal a demon item against a cursed item and see what the cursed item has to say. If the cursed item says all things are baller, then we know not to trust it. And it's not that we don't trust you, Thelvar. We don't trust the stone. Mr. Fugly is not a good thing. Trust
It's
me.
a literal demon.
I've played with demons enough times to know, dear child.
Look, I am willing and was already planning on attuning to the Ori now that we have our journey to Neverwinter set. But I need you all to trust me.
And you're asking us to trust Mr. Fugly as well.
Exactly.
No,
don't
I
trust
am
Fugly.
asking you to trust me.
Mara's just
Why
like,
don't you just go and get the Ori and ask it what it thinks about the situation?
Just trust me. I know what I am doing.
But Thelvar, I've had this stone for hours, and you didn't care about it. It's only when it's in your head, holding the possibility of something you want in front of you, do you suddenly care.
Yes, I care because it can free me of my curse. That is
what
very
fool
true.
you-
It is not making me care about it. It has given me information that I care about.
But see, that's how demons work. You
How
don't
does it mean-
realize that it's making you do something
Do
until
you think I
after it's
don't
making you
know
do it.
how demons work? I know how demons work. And I
Thelvar,
know how to deal with them. Please, my friends, just trust me.
You can roll a persuasion check if you want, Thelvar. How you doing here?
Where is it? There it is.
No, that wasn't the move I wanted to make.
Pretty neutral. To go either way for people.
Mm.
You have to think of your
God, these
character.
are
Trust.
nowhere.
Please, my friends, please listen to me. I need you to trust me. I know what I am doing.
Ring around the rosy, a pocket full of posies.
I don't.
Honestly, Thelvar, you don't know how many times I've said that to somebody and had absolutely no fucking clue what I was doing.
That's supposed to make people feel better?
What I'm saying is that believing in yourself and knowing what you're doing isn't the same thing.
Yes.
That is
may be
true.
Ashes we
What
all
I need to do,
fall
what
down.
I need to do, and you need to do what you need to do.
Thelvar, why don't you try what Mara suggested a little while ago?
I will
Why
be
don't
chained to the Ori.
Not that. Why don't you write down what the demon has told you? If it's threatening to take it away from you, then why
And-
don't you make it so it can't take anything away from you?
And if it decides to take it away while I'm writing it down?
Then we know it's not in good
Well,
faith.
then you know it's lying.
But then it won't
Or-
trust me because it thinks I might betray it at some point.
Why don't you just tell us what it told you then? If it's not in our heads, it can't take what it told you from us.
I mean, it knows things about us, even things Thelvar shouldn't know, so who knows what that
It's
thing knows
told me
already.
Wait,
That
you said that it knows things about us?
I mean,
it-
it knew about my sister, a thing I never told Thelvar about, so presumably.
Thelvar? Ducky? What did it tell you about me? And the quiver in Mara's voice is something very like they haven't heard that before. Like it's very concerned.
only that you are very interesting.
Oh. Dude just takes like a step away from Mara. If it's not telling you things about Mara, I'm just gonna take that as a sign.
Possibly because it doesn't know what Mara wants.
But it knows what everybody else wants.
That's true.
Thelvar, if it's not telling you anything about me, shouldn't you be concerned about that? And I remind you, I trust you. I don't trust it.
Mara, who says I'm not concerned?
I want you to tell it something. Can you do that for me?
Well, you speak and it will hear you.
This is interrupted by a small, like, high-pitched squealing as Thelvar opens the box to take the stone out.
Close the box. It didn't need to be out. Remember, it was in the box when it told me you were trying to get rid of it.
She hands the stone to Mara.
Mara looks at Mr. Fugly in its three eyes.
Okay.
Like, doesn't talk to Thelvar, talks to the rock. I want you to understand something, Mr. Fugly. You hurt my friend. I will find every single way to destroy you and make sure you don't go to where you're supposed to go. And trust me, Daddy's on my side, not yours. And then she
Who's
hands it back
Daddy?
to Habara.
She does not take it.
Going on about Jesus.
Yeah.
I think you should keep it, Mara.
Okay.
As long as you keep it, Mara, and not give it away to God knows who.
Fine.
Although I think I can hazard a guess, can't I, Ibarra?
Oh, lucky Bara knows how to steal
I
things.
don't know.
She's not particularly stealthy or subtle or clever like that.
Who were you thinking I was going to give it to?
Oh, I don't know. The person that you wrote the message on the wall to.
Yeah, but I don't know who that is.
When we were in the carriage, and you caught sight of him on the corner,
Oh,
and you left him a message to be back later.
always feel like somebody's
Yeah.
watching me. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
So, turns to Clue. You remember that time when you went up on that roof, and then that drow, and he stabbed
I
you
stabbed-
when you like almost
Mhm.
died.
It was really funny.
Remember that? Yep.
So you remember when Urstil Floxin came over the roofs and then like he started glowing and stuff?
Yeah, that was weird. Didn't really question it at the time. But yeah, that was weird.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
need to question it.
that
I
wasn't
saw him as I
really-
run through Habara's room on the way up to the roof.
I think he was gone by that point.
Or he was like dipping out at that particular instance.
He was levitating outside of your second story balcony.
hmm
So, and
So he
he
was still
stayed
back
until he watched Urstil fall through the ceiling, and then he figured you
So
guys had
almost
it.
immediately.
Yeah, but although Thelvar was behind Urstil or chasing Urstil at the time, but yeah, very early on when he kind of did his thing and then decided to abscond because of all of the sirens, missiles going off.
Okay. So, yeah, I've been kind of talking to that guy.
Wait, you're talking to the elf serial killer? That seems like a bad idea.
Oh no, not
the
that
serial
one.
killer, the other one.
Cute one.
Remember-
So the one that shot Thelvar, not the one.
I love it.
No,
Yes,
I
that
don't
one.
think the one. I don't think he killed Thelvar that one time. I think that was someone else.
Yeah. So just to remind you,
That was his friend.
yes,
That was
Three of them.
that
One
was
of
the
them
friend.
threatened me, the other shot Thelvar, and the third one stabbed me the first time.
yeah. So Saloon was the one who stabbed you the first time because his gun misfired. His buddy, whose name I forget, was the one who said his obsession with elves was really getting weird. And then the one who was doing most of the talking was Felric.
Okay, so the guy who initially threatened Clue was the guy Hibara was talking with.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
I mean-
Saloon who opened up fire, and his friend who's up if you. He's like the least memorable of the trio.
I mean, that guy like tried to. That guy didn't want us dead, so he's not that bad. He's if any of the three are in contact
yeah.
with that one.
That's a Krebig.
Hmm.
Yeah, Krebig is the one who turned to Saloon just before they both fired on Thelvar for attacking them, saying, "Yeah, you really need to like the thing on the elves thing is getting kind of weirdly obsessive," and then fired his gun, and they both took down Thelvar. I remember that very well.
hmm
So, but it's funny you should mention the serial killer thing, because as she holds up her recently written letter, I was planning on putting the demon in his head.
And then we
And
lose.
they're just like killing him, so to nobody. Huh, not the worst idea. If Thelvar didn't want to cooperate at the very least.
Well, I mean, I am very confident that having it in Thelvar's head is gonna blow up in Thelvar's face.
Thelvar, you do remember that it only gave you one piece of information about the vault so far, included to other pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I remember.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So I know.
Yeah, right. Okay, yep.
So putting it in this guy's head, I
We
mean,
give that guy the information.
I mean,
yeah, but then when he
assuming
died,
the idea was after he attunes, we just stab him, so nobody's attuned anymore. But
oh no, I was just gonna let him
And
have
then
it.
no one has the
That'd be his
information.
problem.
I mean,
We write
still
the
don't want the
information
crowd to
down.
find-
That's why freaking man invented pens and pencils, Thelvar. Come on. Like at
And
this point, the
also-
fact that like Thelvar is extremely against writing this stuff down is just baffling Mara. I mean, like it's like, come on.
And
Like,
the fact that it
already
doesn't know
told
anything
you.
about Mara.
Why that is not a good idea.
I mean, you can try. He will tell you if he doesn't want you to.
True.
I would rather not risk losing the information right now. Thank you very much.
Well, you guys can keep arguing. I'm gonna start actually looking into this thing. So just walks out. It's like,
As I said, trust me to do what I need to do, while you all do what you need to do.
Hmm.
And that, you hear Jarvis calling up, saying, Parker's here.
Ah, fucking duck.
well, now for something completely different.
Now, here's the thing. If you guys want to continue this conversation in the carriage, or if you want to delay Parker to continue this, you have the right to do that. Parker will wait. But also it kind of felt like things had come to a natural point where if you wanted to do something else. So it's really up to your characters. If you feel like this is a conversation that you want to finish before you leave, I'm not going to penalize you and run late. I mean, you already know that you arrive on time to your team building thing. It was more just to let you know that if you guys want to move on, you can. So kind of depends on what you want to force it. I just wanted to give you that option.
No, well, not from Habara. She's given the stone to Mara, and yeah, she feels safer with it with Mara.
I mean, Tony's done with that conversation. Like at this point, the best thing he can do is just actually start investigating the Lady of the Nails himself, so Thelvar doesn't need to use the goddamn rock.
Yeah. Okay.
And trust me, Thelvar wants you to research it. Thelvar can't because, yeah, if Thelvar does the researching, the demon would know. That's the big hint that Thelvar's trying to drop. He's trying to use the demon as much as the demon's trying to use him. And that's what he's trying to get across to everyone.
I mean,
We all kind
the
of
real
figured
question
that
is how much of that works when the rock is inside your head. Like, it just knows what you're trying to do. It's inside your head.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why Thelvar's not trying not to think about it and thus not say it.
Mm. If Blue was level 17, ugh, you get
Alright.
like control. He can literally just like deceive the rock at that point. Well, that's an entire 12 levels away. Oh, 30. Jesus.
All right, so I take it like an awkward silence falls in the group, and Gorko comes over and says, did you want me to stay while you guys went to the headquarters?
Mhm.
Yes.
Just make sure Jolly is safe.
I think that is best, little one.
Okay. Jolly seems nice. Can I go talk to him?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah,
Just
I
don't
have
do
no
anything
problem with it.
stupid like Jolly does. Okay? Can you promise me that?
What
Okay.
stupid things has Jolly done?
Join the gang.
I mean, that was more like a long line of slightly bad decisions accumulating. More socio-economical conditions than anything else.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop Mark from feeling like he was dumb.
All right, yep, cool. And he dashes back upstairs. Yes. All right, so you guys head down to the ground level. Jarvis notices like a real awkward quiet as you guys are like putting on your coats, not really talking to each other, not really making eye contact. Jarvis picks up a series of folders and paperwork and a sort of like writing desk, a mobile writing desk. You set down. and says, all right, well, let's talk as we head over to the dock ward.
Delightful. And so, Jarvis, Ducky, do you mind having a jar, a decent sized jar, filled with scotch when I get back, please?
Oh, yes. I'll keep
Keep
it
it, like,
ready for you.
delightful. Make sure it's filled to the brim too. And then she looks at and then she's fiddling with where she had hidden the stone. I hope you heard that, Mr. Fugly.
No, by the way, when you guys finish up your day at your team building, when you come out into where Parker is picking you up, they've actually gone back to the Troll Skull Alley and kind of estimated when they thought you'd be finished and come back to collect you. And Jarvis has brought the scotch with them in the carriage. Like, the glass is there, the bottle is there. So you don't even have to wait till you get back to the bar. You guys can drink on your way home.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it wasn't for drinking.
Okay, right. Well, whatever you want to do with the bottle of scotch and the glasses that you brought.
So, Kristi, while in the pocket dimension, can Thelvar still feel the stone?
Yes.
Right.
I imagine it would
So-
still be on Mara's person, wouldn't it?
It is. So after the debacle that was that second dinosaur, Mara, even though she was laughing her ass off, looks at the stone and goes, "I warned you, Mr. Fugly, not to hurt my friend." And then she takes the mason jar, unscrews the top, drops the stone in the scotch, screws it up, and then shakes it like a freaking margarita. "I told you to be good. You weren't good. You were a naughty stone."
Poor rock getting disinfected.
Yeah, it looks shinier now that it's wet. You know, the eyes look even glossier.
She hasn't taken it out. It's still in the freaking jar. She's gonna leave it in the jar for it to learn its lesson.
Okay. Right. All right, so you guys all bundle into the back of carriage, and Jarvis says, "All right, well, as we're traveling, there are a few things that I'd like to discuss with you, because tomorrow is the food and spirits and beer and wine tasting I've organized. But there's also, once you complete your training, your team building exercise, we will expand as a franchise, and that means some material changes that we should discuss, or at least you should have a conversation about, so I can organize these. So as a rank 2 Solutions Guild franchise, in addition to the cosmetic improvements to the tavern, we can organize the expansion of the space at your choice, an improvement in your transportation. I will be ordering up a new carriage. If you want me to do something in particular, or you have some specifications, please let me know. I can shop for the right carriage to maybe match the themes of the pub or whatever you like. Perhaps put some advertising on the side. And we get some kind of self-defense weapon, or a weapon of offense, but probably not very good idea for a tavern, as well. But in addition to that, currently we have our two Bobs at our current rank, and one skilled hiring position that you've not filled, which has saved us a little bit of money for the franchise fee this month. Thank you very much. However, as soon as tomorrow, we will have a total of 4 untrained hirelings, 1 skilled hireling, and 10 crew members. And it is in particular the 10 crew members that I think you guys should discuss, and so you can give me some directions. So let me tell you a little bit about what the benefit of a crew is. I'm just going to read from the book now. So, crew are skilled hirelings trained in tasks pertaining to the physical maintenance of a franchise. For example, they can be servers or gardeners. If you have a ship as your franchise headquarters, they can be the sailors, navigators, for instance. And you guys can hire now up to 10 people. And you are going to kind of need bartenders and wait staff and people in the kitchen and things like that. And in addition, Madame Cookery can be counted as one of these skilled crew members, which would leave you someone. So the thing about your crew is that they can't leave the premises. If you wanted to have some of them be, for instance, security, they could help defend the location, but you can't take them with you around town. You can't take them with you to other cities. They're based inside your crew do not leave the franchise and cannot perform franchise tasks, which we're going to get onto. They typically run rather than fight back when attacked, except, of course, if you want to hire them as security, in which case they'll have some pretty meager stats, pretty much, meat shields. Hiring crew can become a cooperative role-playing activity. Your crew members, you can actually... so what I thought was that Jarvis will have a pool of people to hire from, and then if you guys want to do the exercise where you actually interview people to work for you, then we can role-play that. But if that's something you'd prefer to see Jarvis delegate according to whatever instructions you guys agree upon, like hire 2 bartenders, that kind of thing. Depends on how much you want to get involved in the actual development of. So yes, and you based on the kinds of roles that you want to fill, I will develop some characters who will become part of your tavern life and your interactions, especially during the business hours of when the tavern is operating. And that's it. So yes, you also currently you're only licensed to work inside of the North Ward.
Oh wait.
Yeah, and then
Sorry.
yeah. Did you do something?
No, I'm talking to myself.
Oh, okay. You're gonna have the ability now to expand and maybe have other franchises that you can sort of have run at a distance and make you guys a little bit of money there. But currently, I think you have enough on your plate. So mostly what Jarvis wants to know is sort of how many of these 10 crew would you guys think appropriate for your starting business? A conversation you can have, what roles you want to fill, how many staff. And then you've got, in addition to the Bobs, you've got 2 more people slots in theory that you could also hire as well to work in that area. Yes, and then since I'm already talking, I'm gonna so hold that thought. The other thing that Jarvis wants to propose to is that they've signed you up for the Bright Swords Day Contestants Tournament, where you can show off your arms, your skill at arms, by fighting other members of the Watch or for whatever. And it's non-lethally. It's swords and sticks. It's not magic, so you'd have to use some kind of weapons because you don't want to burn it's hard to burn someone to death non-lethal. So it's meant to be more like think of like a jousting tournament, that kind of thing. And there is something that you can do as a franchise called marketing, which is a downtime activity. But if you guys, for instance, wanted to take some of those staff members and the day before, for the Bright Swords Day, use them in combination with a marketing activity, you can also then do something that will help your business be more successful. So I'm kind of building on the fact that you already have a jingle. So it seems like you have to do 2 franchise tasks, kind of now that you've increased your rank. And with the Bright Swords Day and their jingle, and the fact that you've just got now, potentially 10 more people to help you do stuff, you could not only get people in, but you could think of a marketing campaign to help you when you have your Bright Swords Day, which will be in, I think, 2 sessions. And yeah, you can set things up, and I can give you some bonuses. Hopefully it'll all go well. I mean, we'll see with the roll of the dice if it goes favorably, but then that will kind of help with the tavern's actual kickoff that night. And then the other thing that I thought would be appropriate is the act of scrutineering. Seems like you guys could maybe engage in some scrutineering activities specifically. So a scrutineering is when it covers basic research and allows you to amass lore about a site or a monster or anything that you decide you want to look into. And I would allow you to have your staff kind of help you with this as well, so it's not just you guys. And yeah, you basically say, what do I want to know about? Maybe I want to know more about how this stone was fashioned. and then you can pay 100 GP per rank. So you'd pay 200 gold to help facilitate the cost of looking this up. And then there are other things that you can do to kind of increase your chances. If you can think of activities that will help increase the chances of you learning more, then we do a roll, and you can learn basically anywhere from 0 to 3 things from that activity of scrutinizing. And so it's a way to kind of structure and reward you for doing the kind of research you're talking about with stone. Or you could do it with the orrery, or you could do it on, for instance, like the keys that you were told about. But you'll have to make a decision on what you want to do and how many staff, for instance. You've just come into 1,000 gold piece, 1,000 dragons, so you have a little extra money in your pocket to kind of do the marketing. Oh, the marketing also costs like 100 gold pieces on stuff, so you can think. So that's what Jarvis says. They propose, basically, inform you about all of these staffing decisions that are now before them, and also that they signed you up for the Bright Swords Day to promote the tavern, because the tavern will open after all the, in the evening when the celebrations are kind of winding down, and that there is a way that your new staff could help you. There were things that you wanted to research that have lore about them. Want to learn more.
You're gonna have to do that the hard way, because Thelvar's been taken out of the research, and he's got 2 different ways of getting 3 pieces of information for free. So you'll have to do it the hard way round.
Yes. So that's what Jarvis wanted to have you guys discuss and start to give them some guidance on, so basically the tavern is looking how you wanted it. It's got the gold and gray, and gold, the black and kind of grayish, occasional splashes of deep red or white. The furniture is looking great, except for the broken window. But other than the fact that they're going to be, dropping off some of the initial, like when you have your tasting, you will have then the barrels of whatever you want delivered that day, so they can be the opening. And also when you do the thing with Madame Cookery, she's going to want, a kitchen where she can go and get her supplies and kind of set up and do her business hours kitchen tavern. So those things are kind of set, but now there's this whole other part of it that, because you've promoted in terms of your rank, you're allowed to.
Okey-dokey. Yeah, I'll have a think and come up with something for the marketing, because that is literally one of Thelvar's jobs.
True. And with the 10 staff, up to 10 staff, you don't have to take all 10 on the crew, but there are particular jobs that you guys, numbers of staff you want, or anything like that?
I'd definitely say at least a second barman, at least 2 servers, at least 1 kitchen help, and at least 2 bouncers.
Okay, hold on, you were too fast. I was reaching for the pen. So let me see if I got that right. That is 1 extra bartender, 2 servers, 2 bouncers, 1 kitchen staff.
Yeah, and a cleaner.
So you've got the 2 Bobs right now who kind of do cleaning, general caretaking. Did you want a dedicated cleaner on top of the sort of like house managers or whatever, building managers? They kind of do whatever.
Yeah, because I was more thinking of the Bobs as general handy persons.
Yep. Okay. Yep. All right. So then someone who's more dedicated. Okay. Yeah, Jarvis is very happy. And says, yes, I've got good candidates for all of those. If there's anyone else or anything that you can think of between basically now and the next session, you guys can talk in the deep too, if something like.
People left might not be a horrible idea to get like a basic entertainer, but those might be considered skilled.
All the crew people are skilled. Fine.
Okay, yeah, we can probably get like a bard or something to just
Yeah,
make use of the little entertainment corner we have.
sure. Yes, she can. Sorry, they can make sure that it's there's like a musician rotating you want, or if you want to just have a regular. Yeah, they can make that arrangement. Yeah, okay. So that comes up to 8. Which if you wanted would leave you with 2 positions if you wanted to hire and people as researchers, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So again with the scrutineering, you just have to say like we want to dedicate, in this case because your franchise rank 2, 200 gold to do scrutineering on these particular topics, and then I'll set up something for like the next session to see how it goes. Because I haven't done all the details here, but you guys kind of give me your proposals, and then I'll work that up into a series of like skill checks that you can do things to try to help yourselves get a higher score and learn more. And also what would you want? There's so many things you guys could scrutineer. So I can think of 3 at the top of my head.
I hope this doesn't make me sound dumb, but what's scrutineering?
It's a phrase that they use to mean doing research.
Ah.
So yeah, you can kind of call it researching, but it's more like they might go and pay people off for information, or they might. I mean, kidnap is such a harsh word. Somebody until they found some information for them or whatever else. So it might involve going to the library, or it might involve digging out some old books or something. But there's a whole bunch of things that can be done, and you can farm some of that work out to your staff now.
Mm-hmm. And yes, just made a suggestion for the resident entertainer.
I love it.
I'll create an NPC sheet. Love it. The lounge vault.
Yeah, Larry the lounge lizard.
Jarvis says, so if it sounds perhaps that there are things that I could help organize you looking into, some various mysteries that are perplexing for the company. Is there anything I can start to help organize for that area?
I mean, guess we need info on the Stone of Galore, so probably priority number 1.
The bar was just looking up Galore specifically.
Okay.
Well, you can discuss the details later once we get back.
Okay, so yep, you guys arrive. You leave out of your cart. Go. You have the adventure to be continued, possibly. But then when you get back to, you walk out the door of the team building exercise facility. Yes, there's Parker and Jarvis, and they're kind of having a bit of a chat. And back in the cart is oh yeah, you already have your booze. So there's glasses back there too. And you guys, do you want to make your way back to the tavern? So at this point, it's pretty late at night, about 11 o'clock in the evening.
So when we had gotten into when we got out of our team building event, that's when Mara decides to do the margarita shake.
Oh, okay, all right, yes, all right, the stone. All right,
yeah,
it clinks in the glass. I mean, how hard do you shake it?
I shake it like a bartender
shaking
like,
a metal glass. All right, do a strength check. Don't get high. Don't roll like a 17 or something. You're noticing, you had to stop because you're starting to hear something, not only like a clink, but a crack. And something like that. It didn't shatter in your hands, but you noticed that actually when you were like throwing it, downwards, that the stone knocked against the inside of the glass and it kind of chipped it a bit. So, oops.
Mara just glares at the stone and goes, You're a naughty stone. You're a naughty little dude, Mr. Fugly. Very disappointed in you.
No,
Please just
the stone that's just
Thelvar.
shaking inside a glass jar. It's going to damage the jar more than it damages the stone.
I'm still mad at the stone.
Especially considering it's a cursed stone that probably isn't easy to destroy.
I wasn't trying to destroy it. I was disciplining it.
I don't think it cares. It doesn't have like nerve endings. It doesn't feel pain.
Yeah, but if I was a stone, I wouldn't want to be a thing of vodka getting shook, a thing of scotch getting shaken up like a margarita.
Not that we want to destroy it.
I'm not trying to destroy it. I'm disciplining it.
Yeah, kind of. We might use it now, but I don't want that thing to be around forever.
I'm just telling it it's a naughty stone. Nothing bad is happening to it. Other than it getting punished, that's what it gets for being a naughty stone.
It sounds more like you have a weird stone fetish, but still.
When you've been around as long as I do, you develop some weird things.
Fair enough.
Right. So this bickering continues until you guys friendly bickering.
Hello,
So,
Ixnay on the Estroid Day.
until you pull up to the tavern. It's pretty late at night now. But I mean, it's still before midnight, like 11:30. Yeah, and Parker sort of, as you guys exit the cart, sort of waves. Jarvis gives them a wave, drive off, and you guys all head into the tavern. Yep.
After all of that, I need a drink.
Oh, Lift kind
I'm
of
sure you do.
Lift sort of manifests, because he doesn't always show himself. He can just flit around. Sometimes we forget. Yeah, and it's starting to get really, really light in the scotch roll, so he pulls out the last bottle of scotch.
No!
And a couple glasses starts pouring.
And she looks at Mr. Fugly in the jar. I should have used cheap vodka. Nail polish remover, basically. And then shakes it up a little bit more.
Right, each of you who wants a glass can have two. There's two fingers of scotch. Glass waiting.
Thank you, Liv, my man. Thank you. Oh, what a day. The play was fun. But that dinosaur race, oh, Lord.
I mean, your one was relatively peaceful, all things considered.
Only because half the riders couldn't stay on their damn dinosaurs.
That was
I
the
mean,
best
yeah, one of
thing
them
ever.
actually walked off, which was interesting.
Indeed.
Jarvis said, "I
And
couldn't
that
help."
poor fellow that kept falling off just feet away from the finish line. Such bad luck.
Jarvis said, "You also did the All the World's a Stage."
Indeed, we did.
What did you do?
We put on a little play of how we captured and disposed of Urstil Floxin.
Oh, very timely.
Indeed.
Fizzle played me. It was fucking adorable.
Yes, that's right. With the sword that just kind of wonked up and down meaninglessly.
Yep.
Chained to his arm. And what did the other party do?
I don't know. Magic trick was kind of confusing, to be honest.
Yes. There's something to do with a bird and some water and...
There was like An octopus
Thelvar
involved?
Yeah, it was all very
I'll
confusing.
tell you about it later.
Looked impressive as hell, but I still don't get what they were doing.
Oh, it's probably that modern art.
Indeed.
Well, did you want to talk about the research plans? Want to call it a night? I mean, as soon as you tell me, I can get started on the morning, or if you want to put it off.
Well, I am going to take myself off to bed. I don't know what everyone else wants to do. They may wish to talk to you about research or something else. I don't know. Well, good night, everybody. And thank you for your trust. And Thelvar heads off upstairs to let everyone else Floxin plan out of his earshot so he doesn't know about it.
Mara
As
then
soon as Thelvar leaves
like
the room.
gently shakes Mr. Fugly. She's really happy about the fact that this demon rock is in a jar full of
It doesn't take much to make Mara happy. Just a demon rock in a jar of booze.
Yep.
Awesome.
So as soon as Thelvar left the room, Hibara turns to Jarvis and goes, "Okay, so here's what I figured out. So there was this guy, and then these other two people, they murdered him for some reason. I don't know. And then they like threw his body in a lake or something, but then he came back as a ghost. And then they had like this slave woman. So don't tell Thelvar. It was had to keep quiet this whole time. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. And I don't know why the ghost decided to haunt the two guys that murdered him, but whatever. So then the ghost and the slave woman, they like escaped. But then again, I guess they're back with them, so I don't know. They're weird.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and see, I would suggest if you're going to be plotting against the stone, you don't do it while the stone is in your possession.
He can't hear anything. He's surrounded by booze. All he hears is muffle, muffle, muffle.
He will probably still hear. He was in a box and could still hear.
Yeah, but think about it. If you're in like a room or like a room, you can hear somebody behind a closed door versus if you're underwater.
I would still not like to take the risk.
So Jarvis, as always, when Hibara and Jarvis talk, isn't quite sure if Hibara is telling them what happened during the event, or if she's telling a memory, or if she's telling a story of something that personally happened. Like, oftentimes Jarvis, when Hibara starts one of her tales, Jarvis is like, I feel like I'm high. Like, is this really happening?
She would have prefaced it with like, "This is what had happened with the other party."
Okay, right.
This is what she took from their play.
Got it. All right, because you just kind of launched into it. Like, so there were these two guys, and then then one put him in a grave, and Jarvis is nodding, thinking at some point I'll realize what this is about. I'm just gonna keep going.
Yes, that is what she had decided their play meant.
Okay.
Is that it was the story of their group coming together.
Oh, right.
And so it was a murder. And like if we do a continued session,
Yeah.
She's gonna pull Glimmer aside and be like, "Whatever you do, don't tell Thelvar you're a slave."
Because she was in a cage.
Yes.
He can't read about it.
Make a big deal, and we have to get through this.
All right, so Jarvis is like, oh right, yes. See, when I did mine, our party did a series of martial arts move set to some sort of bongos that one of our people had but wasn't very proficient with, and there was, I think, some fire eating. I feel like ours too. I mean, it's a lot of time pressure, but it was also a lot of fun when my party and I did. Did you have fun? Did you kind of? I'm sorry, they look around.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun laughing
Mostly-
at Thelvar.
Yeah, that was fun. Also, winning the race was pretty fun.
Oh, congratulations.
That's
Yeah,
true.
House
I
of
mean,
both your
Minimal
houses.
murder.
yeah,
Oh,
the dinosaur was fine. He ended up healed.
yes, and it's a good thing that you did the Unchained race because wild shaping isn't allowed in the other races, but because that one is are allowed, it is Unchained. Picked
I
the-
asked the dwarf lady. She said it was cool.
Did you?
Well, not quite. You didn't. You said, "Can you use outside dinosaurs?" You didn't say, "Can I wild shape into a dinosaur?"
That is the same thing. That is an outside dinosaur. You just didn't
Not
specify
quite.
she was the outside dinosaur.
But Jarvis was very amused at the idea that you had lost your wild shape and then re-wild shaped and crossed the finish line. They loved that part of the story. Mara, that was your turn. Yes. So, things that you want to know about.
Mara looks at Jarvis and then looks at Mr. Fugly. Come on, Mr. Fugly. Time for bed. Bye, guys. And then as she's like walking, she's inverting the jar. Not like hard, but just kind of like so it like slides to one end of the jar to the other end of the jar, just like dink, dink, dink,
Okay.
dink.
And then there were two. And Liff, who's still polishing glasses and wiping down the counter. Opening.
Hibara looks at Clue. I don't know if it's the right thing to look about. It's been my experience, it's just better to kill the demon or to banish them than to figure them out. But could you maybe prioritize trying to find out who this Galore is?
I mean, probably just the dude who made the stone. I don't know if his personal life doesn't be that relevant to how we deal with the rock. Well, I
Is that the
guess
person who made the rock?
probably either the one who made the rock or commissioned the making of the rock. So it would be relevant, depending, but
Jarvis pipes up and says, it was Daggelt Neverember was the person who stole the money, presumably is, and he's currently in Neverwinter.
I mean, probably a good idea to talk to him. Probably a bad idea to bring the rock to him.
I think that would be an exceptional idea. I'm sure he still wants that money. But
As do many others.
But perhaps if you don't talk to him, you could maybe talk to some people at employ who might know what magician was.
Not a terrible idea.
Did he make it?
Oh, that I don't know. I don't think he has that kind of magical ability. And at the time, he had quite a lot of the money at his disposal, the entire city's treasury. So he would have been able to hire someone for him.
I mean, it's not unheard of for people to use cursed items to lock things away that weren't their original purpose. Gotta be creative with those sorts of things.
I mean, I can do some research here, but it might also be worth your time. Do a bit of research in Neverwinter while you're.
Definitely sounds like a plan. Severely doubt we're going to Neverwinter without running at least into his people.
Probably not. If you can avoid him at all costs and his people, but there's also the Solutions Guild franchise in Neverwinter, so you could use some of the staff contacts there to be your faces, help you with the research.
We do have to pick up those boxes.
Yeah, Yeah, if we're talking to them anyway, we can just as well see what they know.
Yes, I mean they're meant to keep an ear low to the ground and trade in information, not just in services provided.
Mm-hmm. Well, sounds good, but also problems for tomorrow. So,
True.
see you guys in the morning.
If you need me to help you make any arrangements for your transportation, just let me know. Give me a day or two's notice. Whenever you decide how you're going to run up to Neverwinter.
Mm-hmm. Will do, but that'll be a party decision if anything.
Ah, all right. Well then, is that it for both of you?
Mm-hmm.
And Jarvis necks their drink, and then we'll say goodnight. Yes, Mara, what are you smashing?
Oh, that was not on purpose.
Oh, okay. I thought you were taunting the rock.
Yeah, the rock fell out of my hands and fell onto the floor.
So by the way, when you get up to your room, even though it's quite late, there's no sign of Gorko.
Is there any sign of Jolly?
Not on the floor where you guys sleep. No, they're up on the top floor. Well, they were on the top floor.
I mean, Clue hasn't noticed anything yet, so that's your problem.
Mara
Yeah.
looks at Mr. Fugly. This is your fault. I just know it. And then, like, puts the jar upside down on her nightstand and, like, starts calling for Gorko. Goku! Goku! Where are you, my ducky?
So you hear coming from the top floor. It's up here, Murder Mama. We're all up here.
Stairs. And walks up the stairs.
Yep. So when you get up the stairs and you go into the room, what you actually see are Gorko, the Nimblewright, and Jolly, all playing poker, sat at a table, and they're playing with wooden chips. They're not playing with real chips. But yeah, they're all having a good time, just sat around a table, playing poker. Well, there are also like it looks like Jolly helped himself to a fairly sizable what's the word I'm looking for? Stein of the beer. The Nimblewright obviously isn't drinking, and and Gorko has a juice of some sort. Looks like an apple juice. And yeah, they're all playing. They are playing not 5 card stud. They are playing Texas Hold'em. I've decided.
And let me guess, the Nimblewright's winning because they're counting cards.
Yes. Like it took a little while to get the rules because they haven't never played cards before, but once they did it, yeah, they're just counting cards, and so you can see like a nice stack of wood chips in front of it. And Jolly, as Mar comes up, says, "Well, I know who I'm taking to play poker with me next time I leave the house," and laughs. This is quite the amazing creature. Doesn't say much, but it explains stuff to it. Catches on pretty fast. And Gorko runs over and goes, murder mama, I lost half my chips."
Of course you did.
Jolly says, I have a lot to learn. But I've only started
Yeah.
playing tonight. Yeah, and then Jolly says, "Oh gosh, is that the time? All right, well, I guess I should probably get to bed myself." Is Clue still here? Clue back yet?
Yes, he's downstairs, getting drunk, like he does every night.
Oh well, I think I'll go help. All right, well, Jolly extends a massive half orc hand over to the Nimblewright. Just looks like a sort of thin, medium height basketball player thing, and sort of like rattles a little bit as he gives Gorko a little pat on the shoulder. Good night there, guy. Disappears off downstairs. Back to the bar. So, Mara, is there anything you want to do with Gorko before Jolly goes and has a talk with Clue?
No, but she's very tempted to like pull his ear and tell him that he's bad, but ignores the fact. She's just like, fine, if you're gonna gamble, at least you're not gambling with real money.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So as you're sat there with Hibara Clue and your conversation kind of winding up, Jolly, who really hasn't said very much this whole time. You know, not through the torture, not through the 4-against-1 fight. Sort of made himself scarce when he heard the cops were coming. But yeah, he comes down and he just sort of sits next to you at the bar. Liff floats over and sort of points at the bar of the bottle of scotch. Liff brings out a glass and pours it, and Jolly just keeps looking ahead. Doesn't kind of invade your space, Clue. And Mara, you guys are kind of wrapping up and just sort of like sits and drinks his drink while you guys have the rest of your conversation.
So, Jolly, just getting your drink on, or have something to say?
Well, been quite a day.
Yeah, been quite a couple of days, if you ask me.
Yeah. It was a pretty fucked up situation we were in earlier today.
Getting into more and more of those as of late.
Really? Wow, I was hoping this was a one-off. This is a thing for you?
It's a becoming one.
Kind of smile.
Well, with a bit of luck, you won't be having to deal with it anymore anytime soon. Just need people to start releasing some of the sounds, and then we can start sending money where it needs to go, and you're out of here.
All right, well, you know, while I'm here, as long as I don't go outside, it'd be nice, useful.
I mean, not gonna complain about that.
Otherwise, I'll just be set upstairs like your nimble right friend. It's kind of boring after. I'm not so much into books, you know.
I mean, not everybody is.
So, yeah, how long do you think I'll need to stay here?
Well, can't really give you an exact timeline before, talking with, either Devil or whoever is replacing him, but I'm hoping to have you out in like a week, maybe 2, but can't promise anything yet.
He nods. Sips his
You okay, buddy?
Yeah. Look, you're covering my ass. And help me find a way out. You know, I don't want to get involved with the cops, so I'm here to help you help me.
That's what I like to hear. Just like puts his hand on his shoulder.
Kind of finally looks up and makes eye contact with you. He's kind of like giving you a lot of space. You know, he didn't want to intrude on you. Like he didn't know kind of what day. But he gives you a smile and a nod and back at his drink. And then after a pause, he reaches up and he kind of also pats you on the shoulder. Huge half-orc hand. Boom.
I mean, he's
You
used
are
to it from
tiefling,
Yagra.
Yeah, that's true. Very Yagra-esque.
Well, have a good night's rest. We'll see about getting more info tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. He necks his drink. He's like, all right, well, I guess I'll head up then. Do you want me to build up the fire in the fireplace before I head up to bed? Just to make sure it stays all night through the cold?
Good plan.
So yeah, he kind of wanders back to get to the back stairs, and as he does, you see just like chuck in pretty heavy, thick pieces of wood like they were loaves of bread. By the way, I loved it when the pocket bread reference came up during the New Year's Eve show. You got pocket bread? Oh my god, we have a thing. The pocket bread is a thing. Yeah, then he heads up, going to bed. Alright. Hibara, what was Hibara doing? She sat there for the conversation?
She left
Okay.
like as soon as their conversation started.
Okay. Alright, good. Alright, well the tavern goes dark as Clue. I take it you're gonna follow Jolly up. Yeah, Liff will go around and kind of like, put out any other candle lights, so it's just the light of fire. And they get out some more bottles. They don't sleep. So dusting, organizing things, and just doing their thing. And everyone gets your full 8 hours.
Yay! I'm like, I get to breathe top off.
All right, so next morning, the sun is coming up. The Bobs get up. They go downstairs, making their coffee. And yes, so okay. So before we kind of start, did you guys have something on your to-do list at the moment that you want to do right now?
Kind of.
Okay, yeah. All right, then let's just play this out. Hibara, you are going to do. You need the least amount of sleep. So you want to tell me after she trances?
Well, before she trances, she makes good berries. But
Okay.
today, she's made 8.
Okay.
I think that's the right number. You make up to 10, but
correct.
8, I think, is the number. And she has, and she sets aside the stack that Gorko, no, 9. She's made 9 today. Sets aside the stack she's made that Gorko normally gets for Blue, Mara, and himself. When she goes downstairs, well, she'll be the first downstairs. When the Bobs come in, she gives 2 to them.
Oh wow! Oh, they're thrilled. Thank you. Ooh, that's tasty berry. Oh wow, really filling. Is it filling, Bob? Silent Bob just nods.
She'll give 1 to Jarvis as well.
Oh, thank you.
When they come in, and then after giving those ones out, she will go and wait by Thelvar's door for him to exit his bedroom.
Okay. All right. There is someone waiting for you at your door, Thelvar.
Before this starts, now that war has taken over, Mara is now an early riser.
Oh,
so
okay.
He beats Gorko awake.
Whoa!
Pats him on the head and makes her way downstairs. Looks at Jarvis and goes, "Scotch clean, vodka clean, please."
Oh, yeah. To Liv or to Jarvis? Sorry, was it to?
To kind of the both of them.
Okay, yeah.
So whoever will get her booze first.
All right, yeah. Jarvis floats over. I'm sorry. Liv floats over. Jarvis is not that happy. And grabs a clear bottle of vodka. And brings it over with a glass.
Mara makes a very, very healthy pour.
Okay.
And looks at Jarvis, and she can tell that they are judging her. Them.
They're just surprised. Yeah, they're looking in somewhat kind of shocked expressions. Yes. First, it's seeing Mara up this early.
And then instead of ordering coffee, she orders food.
Yes.
I have some things I need to do today. Also, I'm taking Mr. Fugly with me, and she puts the jar back on the jar, still full of scotch, and the rock.
Okay.
On the counter.
Got it. All right. So that's Mara. Yeah, that's your morning. Hey, Hibara, was there some other stuff you wanted to do?
No, she's just waiting for Thelvar to wake up and get out of his room.
Okay. Let's go to Clue just to build the tension. What is Clue doing in the morning?
He's waking up, just putting his clothes on, going downstairs, just like halfway down the stairs, just like stares at Mara already being awake. This doesn't work.
Doesn't seem right.
And
then sees it like just drinking scotch and just goes, if she's doing it.
Mara looks at Clue or waits for no.
She's having.
And it's just like he works for no man. just takes a sip of her booze.
At this point, you guys actually notice there is a fresh pastry smell. Like fresh pastries coming from the kitchen. And you hear someone singing la 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 la. Alouette gentille, je te plais.
Mara tells Clue that he has to investigate. Go investigate, goddammit.
He just gets up. Guess I can't trust you to do it. So he just goes and investigates.
Alright, when you push open the kitchen door, the two Bobs are there as normal with the coffee, but there's a small halfling woman who says, "Ah, perfect! You can taste my pastry, tell me how beautiful they are, as well as how delicious they are. Here you go." And she pushes at you what looks like a croissant, a row of, like a rack of croissants, also a rack of, do you know what pain au chocolat are?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep.
so the square types of,
Well,
yeah,
I know what. Yeah.
yeah, yes. But you see that both the croissant and the pain au chocolat are charcoal black. And then there's also in between these two is mille-feuille. It's sort of a pastry, and then they put like vanilla icing on it, and then they put lines of chocolate, and they draw with toothpicks back and forth to make the lines of chocolate look like little arrows up and down, right?
Like the
Yes, except it's not.
Yeah.
It's like a very like the dark chocolate is almost a black, so it has a sort of like a black and white effect, and the puff pastry underneath it is also charcoal black. And Madame Cookery says, "I could not use squid ink, so I had to use charcoal, but it gives it an interesting flavor, and also it stays with a gothic theme. Tell me what you think."
Chloe's just gonna like pick up the pain au chocolat. He's just gonna like investigate it real quick.
Yeah, you can do an investigation roll. Oh, it is
23.
buttery. It looks light and fluffy. It smells like heaven. And also you can see that the chocolate, which is not a milk chocolate, it's a dark chocolate, looks like it's still soft. Like it's just come out of an oven.
Ooh, he's gonna take a nice big bite out of it.
Oh yeah, your mouth explodes in like this combination of light and also the chocolate giving it some sort of like extra little hardness inside. The pastry butter just sort of like coats your tongue, and the flakiness and the air creates a little crunch in your mouth, and it's like delicious.
Chloe just makes like this like stuff like right before like regaining it, something being like, this is pretty good. I mean,
She gets a smile and says, "Oh, thank you so much. The exact reaction I was looking for. I am Madame Cookery. I am your new pastry chef as well as the head chef of your kitchen. Nice to meet you."
nice to meet you. Looks like we'll be in good hands.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And oh, by the way, I have to get out Tasha's because you're gonna like having Madame Cookery on staff. She has, find the page. Of course, let me find it. But yes, and it is charcoal, by the way. She's using charcoal to dye the pastry. Because I fucking looked it up online, because I went searching for Gothic menus for you guys to come up with ideas for what you could have. And I found charcoal and squid ink, and you can't put squid ink in. So let me go to, where are the feats? 79. I'll make a note of this. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just if we ever get poisoned, it's gonna come in handy.
Yeah, yes. All right. So she is taking the chef feat out of Tasha's, and let's see, as part of a short rest, so she can do this every morning for you guys. You can cook special food, provided you have the ingredients, and cooks utensils. She has utensils, so you just need to keep her kitchen supplied. You can prepare enough of this food for a number of creatures equal to 4 plus your proficiency bonus. So your party is always. At the end of a short rest, any creature who eats the food and spends 1 or more hit dice to regain hit points regains an extra 1d8 hit points. So basically, if you pick up a pastry in the morning on your way out the door, or you eat it with your coffee in the morning, you can, at any short rest during that day, give yourself an extra 1d8 of hit points. Because your chef is
Nice.
that damn good. So.
I have an out-of-character question.
Yeah.
If Hibara gave her 10 good berries, and she took those 10 good berries and, like, whatever, and put those in pastries, would you combine that?
I don't see why not. It would just be adding 1 extra hit point, and then the next time you take a short rest. So when you would eat it, you'd immediately get 1 extra hit point, or if you feed it to somebody else. Right?
Well, I was just thinking, because, like, the main reason to use the good berry, or the main reason Hibara uses the good berries, is not to have to eat for the entire day.
Oh, all right, yeah.
So
you can double up. Yeah, I don't see how they. I mean, technically they stack, but they don't stack in any way that you couldn't do it if you didn't just bake it inside. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
okay.
So if you want to make a dish of good berries for her in the morning to bake into the pastries for your party, or if you wanted to sell them. You could also
That's a lot of spells.
That's a lot of what?
That's a lot of spell slots.
Oh, no. I'm just saying that, like, if you're because if you do 1, you get 10. And if you had like 5 left over every day, or 2 left over, you guys could specialize in these really cool pastries. And they would be first come first serve, or maybe someone would compete for, that every morning.
They stop being good berries after 24 hours.
Yeah, that could all be explained. Yeah, also pastries after a day. I mean, fresh pastry doesn't last more than.
Yeah.
So that's also, like, the French would, like, eat bread tomorrow? Are you kidding? I'm not eating that bread tomorrow. I'm eating fresh bread tomorrow. What are you, a monster?
And I'm over here going, ooh, stale bread.
But I mean, I'm just thinking in terms of, your business here. If you got to be known as a place where adventurers could stop off in the morning for dropping a little bit of money on one of these special adventuring pastries that are good for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if you wanted to set something like that up and do it as routine, then what I would do is I would add that to, like, the profit side of your running your franchise, so that, because every month, remember, you have to come up with 150 gold for your franchise fee to keep things up for the next month. And if you can take it out of your pockets, you can, but if you can actually, like, have a regular line of income in the tavern, then you don't have to worry about it while you're away. So you've got this wonderful, both light and fluffy, but melts on your tongue, pain au chocolat with a very gorgeous dark chocolate bite, balancing out the sweetness.
I mean, you're just gonna walk out hating it and not mention anything to anybody.
Yeah, so you see Clue walk back out of the kitchen, having investigated, and he seems to have crumbs on his the corners of his mouth.
So, Clue Ducky, is it scary back there?
Terrifying, really. You really shouldn't investigate. Just run away. Just leave.
Okay. Mara just continues daintily sipping her vodka as if it's like the best thing in the entire world.
Blue just like grabs his vodka, takes a sip of it, takes another bite of the pain au chocolat.
Good. So is it about time for Thelvar to begin? Yep.
Yep, Thelvar's awakened by the smell of freshly baked pastries wafting up and through his window. So he rises, dresses, opens the door, like, Ibarra, what are you doing there?
She stands up. Goes, listen, Thelvar. I am 283 years old. I have seen horrible things. And I just wanted you to know that I make sure those horrible things end. She hands him
Jolly
the good
good.
berry.
Jolly
Eat
good.
this.
I will save it for now, but thank you very much.
Eat it.
I will eat it after I have had breakfast.
You won't need. That is your breakfast. Eat it.
No, that yummy pastry is my breakfast.
Thelvar, I wanted you to know, after you eat that berry, that you can trust that I will make sure your curse ends.
Well, thank you, Ibarra. And trust me, I will eat the berry, just not quite yet. I don't want to spoil my appetite for those yummy smelling pastries.
She goes downstairs.
As does Thelvar.
Yeah, the smell, the scent, I should say, gets stronger. Good. And this isn't like someone, it smells like a pastry shop in a cavern.
Mm-hmm.
Different.
And Thelvar follows his nose right into the kitchen.
Bon matin, mon ami. And, Madame, I am Madame Cookery. I am your new head chef.
Yes. Pleased to meet you, Madame Cookery. I've heard so much about you.
Oh, I'm so excited for the opportunity and challenge of making food for a Gothic-themed tavern, and so I leapt at the chance. Please, tell me what you think. Take one, take all, whatever you. She sort of points at her.
Mm-hmm. Thelvar picks up one of the pain au chocolat and takes a nice big bite. Oh, yes. Oh, just as good as I had heard.
Oh. Well, it's good to have my reputation precede me. But yes, you'll find these have a special kick.
What's in that?
A little bit of this, a little bit of love.
Love isn't a material component that you can add to things.
It is when I cook. When I knead the dough, not only use my hands, I use my emotions, my being.
That's what that sounds like. Yep.
Yeah, so clues written in the chat for anyone who can't see it. Love, care, and just a little bit of cocaine. Just a bit of cocaine. Just a pinch.
Gives that extra kick.
Microdosing.
But what's in it? She picks up one of the pastries and kind of squishes it.
Butter, flour, water, chocolate. In time. Please try it.
Lou's just like continuing eating. I mean, it's edible. Can't complain about that.
Mara's still just drinking her vodka.
Okay.
Hasn't even bothered to go into the kitchen and figure out what the heck is going on. She's just drinking her vodka.
Coco comes up, pulls up, climbs up on the stool next to her. Lift pours him like an orange juice.
Morning, Ducky.
Morning, Murder Mama.
Thelvar finishes his pan au chocolat and he turns to Madame Cookery. Oh, thank you very much. I am so glad the rumors of your death were exaggerated.
Well, I have to say they weren't bad for business. There's nothing like coming back to life to make you a little bit famous for a while.
Indeed, indeed.
Yes. So I thought that with my skills, there's no reason to only have the tavern running in the afternoon and evening. In fact, I would prefer to make the main meal lunch and then to offer appetizers in the evening. People don't really come to a tavern so much to eat. Well, not to a gothic sphere, the alcohol, the company. But I have a proposal for you that I can make up for you, assemblers with my proposed menu later on in the
That sounds very good.
So yes, yeah, I think at that point we're at like almost 10.
Mhm.
What were people thinking of doing now? Have ideas you want to do?
I mean, before going to Neverwinter, we have dandy mops to check out. For the rest, yeah, investigating Keystone of Galore.
Collecting your reward money?
Mhm.
Also important. And those are the main things we'd have to, well, have to / want to do before going to Neverwinter.
Okay.
And investigating the address that the Nimble Right
Oh,
was supposed to deliver the stone to.
Okay. So dandy mops, so did you want to do that during the day or during the night or both? What were you thinking?
Probably should go during the day.
Yeah. Actually, that reminds me, Clue does need to try get in contact with the Xanatar leadership to see what the plan for Jolly is.
Oh, okay.
That would be the evening somewhere.
Yeah, you could probably, I mean, I would think the yawning portal is where you start unless you had.
Yeah, because Davil's normally there, but there's a chance his replacement is holding up somewhere else, so probably just trying to run into Gagra, which is going to be in the evening.
Okay. Well then, with the opportunity for Mara for warm pastries and other people, I don't know, Habara, were you gonna wanted to talk to Madame
Oh.
Cookery about anything else?
Well, yeah, kind of actually. She took a bite of the pastry, but she's not real chocolate.
There's also croissants. No chocolate there.
So she'd give the rest of it to Gorko,
Oh, he's very happy on it.
and then she'd say, "Can you make that, but not with the chocolate?"
Yes, of course. What would you like?
Well, I have blackberries currently, but would blackberries be good?
It's your pastry. What you want?
Okay. Okay. I want you. I'm gonna leave. She goes in the kitchen, finds a bowl. Just put just any simple bowl. I'm going to leave berries in this bowl here. She puts it on the end of the counter.
Okay.
I want you to use those berries in the pastries.
She wanders over. She's a little bit short, so she's kind of like get a stepping stool, get up and kind of look up on the table, so that she's sort of like waist high to her. What do they look like? The berries?
They're blackberries.
They're blackberries. Your good berries are black. She looks at them. Says, "Yes, I can work with these. Just the two? Is it two?
Well, she didn't put any good berries in there yet.
Oh, okay. The blackberries. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you work with this? Would you like them tomorrow morning?
Yes.
she takes them, she covers them with something and kind of puts them in a cool area. Kitchen. Tomorrow morning, you will have an berry. Oh, I don't know what berries is. No, I know a potato is pomme de terre. That's not the one I'm looking for. But anyway, my French escapes me. I don't know if all my fruits in French. She smiles. Is Sabara just sort of standing there with like staring?
Oh no, she left.
Oh, okay, she's gone. All right.
when Madame Cookery said yes, that was it.
All right. All right. So next time, you guys are going to have your breakfast. You've had some. Thelvar's got his good berry. Mara has her vodka. Blue has extra hit points. Goko gets extra hit points if he takes a short rest and wants it. Yeah. Where will you be, guys? If they summon James, where will you be headed first?
I mean, down the mobs might not be a horrible choice, mostly because it's gonna be more contained.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, by the way, I will say, what do you have any preference for what your basically think of like an old-fashioned horse carriage? You know, that can fit 2 people or 3 people squeezed in on each side. What did you want it more like the Gothic look? Did you want other colors on it? You guys want to have a conversation about when Jarvis goes out to organize this, what the carriage is going to look like?
A hearse.
A hearse?
A hearse with neon pink.
So, I mean, that can happen if you want.
Yeah. A hearse with a plaque on the back that says, "For the dead travel swift."
Good line.
Are the party fine? Everyone else is okay with that? All right. Jarvis is a very specific request. Sign might have to be made, you know, by the woodworker down the road or whatever. But they will get on getting you a hearse converted into just a taxi for your upgraded ride. And I think we're gonna leave it there. So you'll start the next session, unless there's anything else you want to do, have you head off toward the Sea Ward. The wig shop. So I want to say I had so much fun watching you guys roleplay today. It was really wonderful. It's really nice to see you guys just character role playing that out. Thank you for letting me watch.
No problem.
Although I kind of like I told you, I don't know who I told, but I've been binging chess, how to play chess, like hours and hours and hours. And so today, like with the Stone of Galore, it felt like a chess move. It felt like I'm gonna slide my, bishop on light squares up and just see what they do in reaction. and you guys would move and I would move and you guys would move and I would move, and it felt like from my side very much like a chess match. That made it a lot of fun.
Well, that was one of the reasons why Mara wanted to get to attune to it, was because she was just like, I feel like this thing is playing chess, and I need to like talk to it because I don't trust it worth a damn. And if it's playing chess, then the child of like the master chess player should like have be possessed by it.
Well, but you are just holding on to it. You aren't you haven't tried to attune to it. Was that your intention?
No, Mara is going to follow Habara. She trusts Habara, and if Habara is going to allow her to have the Mr. Fugly, then she's just going to torture the stone.
She's holding on to it.
Oh, Habara gave it to Mara because she fully expects, she's fine with Mara attuning to it because it doesn't know about her enough to use her, is her logic.
Oh, by the way, Mara, you notice in the morning when you get up, about a eighth of the scotch is gone.
Oh. Mara's not happy about that. She's yelling. One of the other reasons why she's like mad.
All right, so just for next time.
Okay.
I'll just do that to fuck with you.
Yeah, Mr. Ugly is just gonna get totally tortured, like like every so often, just shake. You're a naughty little fucker.
All right, well, if you want to find out what happens with the party, do they learn more about the Stone of what is going to happen with their trip over to the wig shop and the job that they've been given to discover who's raising people from the dead? Well, find out by next week. I'm for the start to see what happens with these crazy kids. And until then, it's going to be goodbye from me and goodbye from the party. Say goodbye, party.
Goodbye, party.
Hey, a bit. All right, now we're alone.